Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, guys. Disprew's getting a good giggle. What are you laughing at over there?
I died laughing because the last thing I heard was X-Ray's last comment, and I just died immediately.
Can I just show? Oh wait, I don't remember the line already. God. So I said I'm not going to crochet on here because it's distracting, but I can make a rope for choking. And then Disprew, I think,
we went live and Disprew.
I forgot.
You would like, I can't do that. Wicked went, yeah, it's too distracting if you make something, and you just went something to choke me with. I was like, what? Just the last comment. It just went. There's just a dancing dog on the screen.
Sounds about right. But yeah, no, I'm making a blanket. It's a very modest start, guys.
It's gonna take a bit. You just like you should record like the progression, and then it'll be a cool video, like going from that to the full blanket.
Ooh,
like a jigsaw
that. That'd be cute. I like stuff like that. Progression, you know.
Yeah, this is gonna be
like
a big
building and
already. I just needed to cover my whole body twice over, so this is still too small.
Still too small. You got it. It's good. New fun date. Oh, Hokies.
Hokies. Oh my goodness.
You're the one that said it. You can't have a go at the chat for
We're not having a go at anybody. Calm down,
Disprew.
Like Hokies, I can't believe you said that.
There's always time.
I never. So how was your guys' week? I see, X-Ray's got a new hobby. Maybe once you get it down and you're going faster, you can make me one. I want a blanket.
Ooh, it only took me 1.5 years to make this blanket.
In 3 years. So 3 years. Okay, I'll mark it.
That was the whole thing. Didn't families used to have like generational blankets they'd pass down, and each generation of daughters would add to the quilt? Like they would teach them how to sew, and they'd add to the quilt part by part. It was like a family tradition.
Like that must be like a white person thing, because we don't do that.
That must be a white person thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, we used to build things.
That's a British thing.
It was well, it's not a tradition that people carry on now, but I saw it on lots of different things. Maybe it was things like Little House on the Prairie and stuff. Maybe it's a much older tradition. I remember seeing it a lot on TV, and
it's like I said, it's a white person thing.
Well, yeah, although in the remake of Little House on the Prairie, who knows? Maybe that tradition will be handed off to other people who rap. Anything's possible.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to hear about remakes right now. I'm working on a video right now about
well, they've sent out the casting stuff for Little House on the Prairie.
I gotta fix my hair.
Full steam ahead.
I can't hear this.
It is like a movie or a show?
Little House on the Prairie is an old, very traditional
movie,
TV
right?
show.
No, it's a show. You've never heard of Okay, I know X-Ray Girl hasn't seen a lot of stuff
for this,
but it was like.
You ever heard of the Waltons? They were similar kind of shows, different eras. But...
No.
Oh, yeah. It was another very traditional kind of TV show. Like, they were typical wholesome entertainment back in the day. You can't have that now. One of the descriptions for, I don't know whether, I think I've posted it. It's probably the easiest way to find it.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself going down some rabbit hole, as we do on the internet. And it was a video on Little House on the Prairie, and it was showing clips, and I was laughing so hard because some of it was supposed to be like drama back then, right? Because it was the 70s, right? Like 70s, maybe early 80s that it was on. I'll have to look up. But there's scenes like the one girl I forget her name, Nellie, I think. I watched a little bit of it, but I not fully. I know it was on for a very long time. That was more of like my mom's thing. I think I watched it on like TV Land sometimes. But the one girl was just like insufferable, bully, mean to everybody. And she was pretending to be cripple. And the one girl, to like stick it to her and show everyone that she wasn't, pushes her down a hill and she's like, "Go see your mom, Nellie," or something. And it's like so dramatic. And they zoom in on her face. And I'm just like cracking up. She's like screaming, going down the hill, and then she falls into like a mud pit. And I was like, peak entertainment right now. Like that was drama right there. I was clapping so hard.
I think that if I remember right, I think it's the one that becomes blind that did that. Although I can't.
No, it was Laura. Laura, the redhead, the younger sister. Did it. Mary is the one that goes blind. Yeah. See, I know a little bit about it.
Well, the quote for one of the characters was, "Mixed in with small pleasures and petty disputes with her older sister are true feats of survival and bravery. She is observant, tender, strong-willed, hot-tempered. She resists the bounds of 19th century ladylike behavior." And I'm like, this is going to be peak feminism, I can tell. It's like,
it's gonna be
just the description alone. She ain't no 19th century lady. It's all there. She's gonna be strong. Gonna be complete arse.
So it's not Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, it's not your mom's Little House on the Prairie. Okay.
It's gonna be a modern version, which defeats the entire objective.
Which means it's gonna be awful.
Yeah.
So modern House on the Prairie.
Well, another quote at the bottom.
They're gonna be in the suburbs.
Which has one of the former cast members saying it, but she said the original Michael Landon. Now, Michael Landon, very traditional religious kind of bloke. He even did a TV show where he was like an angel that came down to help people and stuff. But Michael Landon's interpretation, now it's the time for somebody else's interpretation. I think there's plenty of room for that. And I think there's lots of other stories beyond mine that can be told. I think this opens up the doorway for all kinds of Little House on the Prairie projects. It is...
That's stupid.
That was his interpretation in time, and now we need a new person. Modern take.
No, it's supposed to be old school for reasons.
I mean, are we surprised? Look what they did with Lord of the Rings. Like, they gave one of the elves an edge up, okay?
Yeah, but
I mean, David Rayner puts a good idea. It would probably be the OF version.
Oh, goodness, maybe.
Yeah, they're on the frontiers of American history, fighting the Indians, and the only way they can survive is by sending nude pictures back to England.
Yes.
They've got to be shipped by boat. Quite a delayed transfer, but it works.
All that is ship porn.
The frontiers of America as a... well...
It took a second to...
They definitely... The Ingalls do have 2 girls, but I don't think they have a cup. That's the problem there.
Missed opportunity.
The frontiers for sort of America is wide open for sort of modernization.
Sure,
you know, watching older shows, even like 90s, like I go down random rabbit holes, especially once you get like you're in the shorts section and things are just popping up. This one guy does like a deep dive on certain things, like do you remember Seventh Heaven? That was very popular back like in the 90s, and it was the preacher. The guy actually ended up being real PDF file in real life, but he played a pastor on the show. Anyways, they're showing like how like the Christian family was, and there's a girl that starts hanging out with the younger daughter. There's 7 kids, right? 7th heaven, and they're like, I think she's in a gang, and like she's got a belt on that has like her initials, and they're like, she's in a gang. I'm like, what? And it's just so funny and dramatic but this was peak entertainment for us in the 90s. I did like 7th Heaven back in the day, but like rewatching it now, some of it's really funny. But yeah, sorry if I ruined anyone's childhood by revealing that. Just do a deep dive into the dad in that movie if you want. But yeah, there's some stuff that came out years ago about him.
Deep dive into lots of other people.
Yeah, well, he admitted it. That's the thing. There was like an interview where he's like crying and he's admitting it, and it's like, not Michael Landon. No. We're talking about 7th Heaven. Not Michael.
No, I don't think Michael Landon had scandals.
No. I forgot his name. The dad from 7th Heaven. We've gone way off though. Anyways.
Only Wicked knows what 7th Heaven is. To me, it just sounds like an adult bookstore.
Honestly, don't know either.
Biel. It had Jessica Biel in it.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I did. Not every episode, but I watched a bit of it back when it was airing. I think it was on for a long time. It was one of the WB shows. And Anyways.
Sounds like a brothel.
Now that I may have ruined some childhood, so sorry.
It's not ruining your childhood. It's just a really crappy person.
Yeah.
That was part of that project.
Yes.
I mean, it's Hollywood. That's probably most
so that much of a surprise.
Just don't investigate any show that you liked as a kid. Probably best.
It's probably a better idea, yeah.
The drums.
So speaking of drama, I didn't see Snow White. Oops. But these two did because they don't get off that easy because of FNG.
Did not get tortured. Lucky for her.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Real quick though, just like something that I want to pull up that I'm like, what in the heck? Like, why didn't they dress her like this for the movie? I've been complaining about this damn bow since the beginning. Like, why couldn't they do that in the movie? Instead, they make her look like Lord Farquaad. There
was a lot of backlash over this picture, and I'm not really sure why.
Yeah,
I just heard there was backlash over it, as if people like, I can't believe you've done this kind of thing. I've no idea.
Like, when was this taken? I forgot.
This was for like
it's fairly recent. This was in the lead up to the marketing, so post Oscars.
Oh, okay. I guess this is like the modern day version of Snow White as well as the other one, which is the wildest thing. I don't understand why there's a backlash in it about this either. I mean, she looks cute.
Yeah, no, I think that everyone. So I think, as Disparu would say, that she's an insufferable. See you next Tuesday, right? Like she's an awful person in real life, but I don't think she's ugly. I think that she, does need.
It depends who's doing her makeup. I mean, have you seen that Allure article?
Oh yeah, like so she doesn't always look great, but I think like overall, I don't think she's ugly, and I think she's
prettier than she's ugly.
Yeah, and I do think that she can sing. I think that it's more so that people just dislike her so much. Like, nope, this is awful. But people have their tastes. It's whatever. But this, I don't understand why couldn't they do her hair like this in the movie and give her that bow? It would have looked so much nicer.
They really put to heart like trying to do 1-to-1, like slide over to Snow White, the original, the drawing in the photo set. Because the way they had her hair, it was like little lumps, essentially, trying to literally mimic that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look, that was the hair from the animation on the left. Rachel's is not like that in the movie. It is Farquaad's. That's an entirely different style.
Oh, absolutely. Here,
they couldn't
about that.
They couldn't mimic it 100% somehow.
Snow White's hair goes down and longer behind her and stuff, and Rachel's didn't. It was kind of short with
hair,
curly bits on the side.
It was weird.
Just Lord Farquaad.
It really was super weird. And there was more.
Those are the same hair.
Apparently, she did like I don't know what it was, some press thing where she thanked and was just like so loving towards everybody in the cast except for Gal Gadot.
No, she didn't go. I thank so and miss her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I read something about it. Don't quote me on that, or I don't care. I just it's something that I heard or read at some point, and I'm not surprised by it. I didn't deep dive into it because I believe it.
The wild thing is, I bet she thinks she is like the Snow White in real life. Well, at least the portrayal of what she had in Snow White in the movie is her real life. Like literally, Gal is evil, anti her in everything, and she's even getting more love than Rachel is, obviously. And it's like she feels like she has an uphill battle when she thinks she deserves all the praise, all the love for just merely existing and trashing the audience.
It's like the quote she did from the Allure article. If this go stop popping up menus.
In the quarter black starts cussing at the
That's
screen.
why it's so important for the next generation to see movies like Snow White. Just realize there's nothing wrong with choosing what's right, and that it doesn't have to be anger or a clenched fist. Anger can be a powerful emotion, but doesn't lead to the brightest future. It often uncovers fear, insecurity, and a lack of love. Snow White chooses kindness and still makes change. Power takes many forms. I hope we'll see a new dawn of kindness and acceptance in the next couple of years. People don't need to use hate to cause further division.
Wait, Rachel said this?
She's describing herself. Yes, this is a quote from her.
She definitely used hate. What did she do?
She used more hate. Oh my gosh.
She's talking about the people which have commented on what she said as they're the ones using hate, causing division and everything.
You started
she's seeing herself as Snow White, the glorious one that's chosen kindness to rise above the common peasants.
She thinks what she is kind, but she doesn't realize what she's doing.
Like it was like
wild, hypocritical.
It was only a few months ago she said that over half of America should never know peace. And then she's like, I hope we choose kindness.
And she's like, you know what? I hope everyone that voted for Trump dies, but be kind, guys. My gosh. Like, what the heck? These people are so delusional.
She exists in all of us.
She exists in all of us.
And this is basically the feminine worldview.
Oh, she said that. Sorry, I thought just Bruce said that, making a joke.
No, that's what she said. This is essentially the feminine worldview that and it's the worldview in Snow White that essentially if we all just give up our personal property and go around and give everything we've got to other people, then some magical world of kindness, acceptance, and love and bounty will spring up out of the ether out of magic. Whereas the male worldview is, if you've done wrong, you need to be punished. It's like justice-based, you get what you deserve, and if you don't, you deserve vengeance. These are entirely different moral paradigms, and they can't both rule. And in Snow White... Well, it's not unfortunate. What she's preaching here is evil. I know she thinks it's nice, but it isn't. This is the one that leads to, same in Daredevil, when you have a prisoner going, I can't believe you're putting me through so much trouble that I have to go to prison after I've committed a crime, and then I can't leech off the state as well. I have to come out and do some work to get my benefits back. I'm like, you committed a crime.
Getting ahead of
punishing you.
Guess what? The world is not easy. You have to literally do work to receive, like, a trade back. You can't just get things for free. I mean, we all would like that, but that's literally what if we all got things equally, who's going to do the work then?
Well, if you remember the message in Snow White, she even said, because it's weird. The princess, obviously being a princess, rules the land. So all the lands of the castle, all the houses, everything belongs to the royal family. But she says the land belongs to anyone who works it. I'm like, sorry. They're essentially going, everyone works the land, then we all just share the food among each other, which for some reason always get turned into apple pies. And then we just have infinite food and everyone's fine and no one starves and we all live happily ever after.
I'm going to work the land in the castle, so the castle's mine.
What about the guys that work less than the others? Like, do they get the same amount of food? What about the people that work more? Don't they deserve more? Like, all the stuff... This worldview just leads to evil. You are essentially persecuting the best people so that you can benefit the worst people. It doesn't work.
This is what I see. So my job before was unionized, and it always benefits the people who've been there the longest or the laziest. The longest I don't care about as much, but you can't lose your job if you just work less. And I've seen that time and time and time again. And it's just a small little subset of problems of, oh, the person doesn't pick up the piece of paper. They don't do this. They don't do that. And then all of a sudden, everyone else has to pick up the slack. So how does that work in a bigger scale with a village or, I guess in this case, a kingdom? It won't.
That is the exact... It's that this worldview, it was essentially evolved and works very well inside a small scale thing. So a family, you want everyone to be equal, you want to distribute things because you don't want any of your family members to starve. And so it doesn't matter if the 5-year-old works the fields because he's your family, so you're going to give him the food anyway.
Just Rue's putting his kid in the field. He's like, you better work for that.
Well, no, I'm going to shove my kid up the chimney where he belongs. But the moment you scale it out beyond that, to like among your it just doesn't work, and it essentially turns into evil.
What, and be a chimney sweep? That's very British of you.
Yes, yes. Look, children are small for a reason, so they can fit up chimneys. That's what they evolved for.
They have small fingers so that they can make those iPhones.
Yes, and they can stick their hands into the machines easier. This is why we have repetitive jobs for the kid.
The kid. Yeah,
work the mind.
I might eventually see this. I don't have any theaters. I planned on actually seeing it in theaters just so that I could talk with you guys about it and just to laugh at it.
You'll be infuriated. So I watched Sail the High Seas. And
That's what I'm
I
gonna
was
do.
maybe gonna give the movie like a below good mark,
Mhm.
you know, like a 3 or 4. But when it got to the Hi Ho song, I just
Did they change it? Did they really change the lyrics of that?
they changed the lyrics of a lot of the songs, or changed like chunks of
Some of
it
the
here and
songs are
there.
cut out. Yeah, they've added new
Some
ones.
songs cut out. Yeah. So they changed the Hi Ho song to like it inserted a lot of verses, but the thing that annoyed me the most is they didn't have the hi ho, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Because
That was perfect,
in
by
the
the
next
way.
song that they had sung, it was the whistle while you work, and she had taught Dopey how to whistle,
What?
and then taught everyone else how to whistle.
Oh, stop it. So
And
they
then
literally couldn't even know how to
whistle
whistle.
at 200 plus years old or whatever.
Yeah. There's even a line where they call him Dopey, and one of them goes, "You can't just call him Dopey. Just because he's named Dopey doesn't mean he's a dope."
But that's his name.
It's
He
like,
is
well, you can't take the piss
dopey.
out of Sleepy because he actually has a medical condition of narcolepsy. It's like, can't do that. There is legitimately a line, I wrote it down to see if I can find it, where they're talking about, because the prince isn't the prince, he's now a thief, and he's leading a gang
He's a
of
bandit.
criminal scum out in the forest. And one of them says they're just bandits in the forest, human criminals, nothing but thieves. And then Doc says, and this is a direct quote, "They're erstwhile actors whose sustenance was made unstable by the Queen's greedy economic policies, which forced them into a liminal space where ethics and motives are ill-defined."
He says this?
That's word for word what
If
he
I
says.
seen that when I was a kid, I'd be like, what?
Yeah. Well,
like, what is he
it's
saying?
like She-Hulk.
Stop using big words.
Yeah, right.
When She-Hulk looked at the
Kind of
camera
big for me right now. Like,
and spoke
what
to
she
the
said.
audience, that wasn't She-Hulk. That was the writers talking through She-Hulk at the audience. And that's what this was. It was just the writers putting ideology directly into the audience faces, because they're like, no, actually, the criminals aren't scum. They're the heroes, where their morality is different and they live in a different space than you. And these people, they're not Robin Hood. They weren't giving to the poor. They were just in the forest being lazy arseholes stealing from people.
It just lost the charm of everything. Like the dwarves were supposed to be this additive levity that brings Snow White out of her like sadness and despair after being chased, you know? And then this supposed to be like a relationship between her and the dwarves where they help each other, and then it just never came, like was portrayed like that. It felt very like almost one-sided. She's very bossy, and it stole the charm away. Like I watched a couple little clips on YouTube of the original, and I'm like, oh my god, they're so adorable, they're so cute, and I kind of want to watch the original in its full now, because there's just little things that they do that you're just like, oh, adorable. The only time I went, oh, was like they had CG animals do cute things every now and then, but that doesn't really add to like the nostalgia you feel for the original movie.
Yeah.
It's
The
all the
original
animals
movie's
before.
great. It's just cute. And the thing is, it's so messed up that they're doing this, because that was Disney's first movie. It's what put them on, the money making, right? Like it was, and she's their first princess. And she's supposed to be the sweetest one. I mean, obviously, at least old Disney,
She's not.
they're all supposed to be, sweet. Like she's just tender and kind, and that's why the animals come up to her, and that's why, the huntsman can't kill her because she's just so pure and sweet. Oh.
She's sassy and modern. She can give as good as she gets. She can stand toe to toe with a man. That's what Snow White is in this. There are some at the start which it's almost like there's two versions of her, because in some she's trying to be the innocent, wholesome kind of girl, but then whenever she's around the criminal scum, which I think was the original cut, she gives the sassy, I just think you're filth. Yeah, there's even a song where he's like, that just sounds like princess problems to me, and she's like singing back at them like some kind of weird rap battle. It's very bizarre.
I didn't like that number.
They've changed things, like, so the kiss that wakes her up, after
There's
that
pictures
happens,
of that looked so awkward, like he was kissing her
It
chin.
was. Oh my gosh.
he was kissing her chin. But in the animation, when she wakes up, she puts her arms out so that he can pick her up and carry her around. Well, that would be taking away her agency. That would be putting her in a submissive position. So in this, she jumps on him like she's a dog in heat. Like everything gets removed. There was they've removed the song. What was it? A Prince Waits for Me or something like that.
Someday my prince will come.
Yeah, they remove Someday My Prince Will Come because that would be a man solving a problem and taking away her agency. And
So-
they replace it with a song where she says, "I will put out into the world, I will sing something and it will echo back to me and I will get it." They're essentially talking about manifestation, where you say you want to be rich and then riches come to you. It's a very TikTok whole niche.
So
you're manifesting. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So this point was made. I was on Valiant stream talking about this, and he made a very good point that I agree with. That yes, someday my prince will come. She's singing about her prince, but it's more so she's trapped behind the palace walls, and she's basically she's a servant, right? She's in rags in the original movie, right? And it's more of a song where she's singing about yes, it's about her prince, but it's about someday she'll be free. Is more so what the meaning behind it is. So
no, the meaning is someday my prince will come.
Well, it is, but it also like
back
when
in the
she
day
gets with
there
her
was
friends.
no.
Yeah, but
it's a traditional gender role thing because whether people like it or not, traditional gender roles are just reality.
well, yeah, no, it is about the prince, but I do agree that it also he does equal her freedom, yes, but it's still a powerful song. And
No, because
I
then
don't know
she'd
why
be
they
submissive
would.
to him.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's the same thing as your father
boss
giving
her
you
way.
away.
yeah, it's so stupid. I didn't know they changed it that much. I'm actually glad I didn't see it. Maybe I'll sail the high seas for it at some point, but I don't even feel like it's worth it. It's
No, it's not. So if you want to watch a good movie with musical numbers and dancing, like Wicked is by far like 10 times better.
it's
than Snow White.
actually on Peacock now, so I was thinking about watching it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like even just the intro dance where it's like the kingdoms dancing, everything's bountiful, everyone's eating and happy. Versus the one in Wicked that they do. Whoever choreographed it, or yes, in Snow White. Whoever choreographed Snow White, just it's so bland and the music is horrible. Like there's
the new
nothing
songs are crap.
There's nothing catchy about it. Like I will never like sing these songs again. Whereas like the Wicked songs, I mean, like they're iconic for a reason. So I don't know why they didn't just stay with the original songs. Of course,
well,
besides
it's because
DI.
the new songs are all ideological. Like all of them have a political message, or a socio-political message. The entire thing of bringing fairness back and everything is just if we all communally get together, will bring about a socialist utopia. She destroys the evil queen by remembering 4 people's names rather than stabbing her through the heart. To the point where the queen has to top herself because no one's willing to do it for her. Everything about the movie is set up for some kind of a message or another, which does surprise me because I thought they were going to tone it down.
Yeah.
The one in this was if you scroll down, there's one about the dwarves. It was specifically
this one Dopey talks or no?
No.
Well,
all that art is weird.
It
no,
does happen.
This is stupid. They got rid of the glass.
Changes.
The glass coffin was iconic and beautiful, and the dwarves made it for her, and they got rid of it.
Well, they didn't have time, right? Because in the original, she dies, and they chase her, and then she falls off a rock. And then it's years later. So they're preserving her body in that glass coffin.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, she eats an apple, and then some birds fly off to the criminal scum, and he just runs along and kisses her. She's unconscious for about 2 minutes.
Oh, that's stupid. So wait, how does the queen die in this one?
Oh, she gets her guards turn on her, and then she runs, breaks her mirror, and becomes charcoal and disintegrates.
Yeah, and there's no reason for it. She is a witch, so she should know the consequences of doing it. She just smashes it.
All the cool stuff away from the dwarves. First, they take away them being actual human people in their CGI. Now they can't make the glass coffin. They don't kill the queen. They can't whistle.
Well, and the ending is so anticlimactic. Like, it doesn't feel like anything prevailed besides just her existence.
Yeah. It's stupid. It's
because
even worse. I knew it wasn't going to be good, but my goodness, it's way worse than I expected.
The one for this I was after was Snow White doesn't bake gooseberry pies.
Down here, hold on.
But you can't have the dwarves killing the queen because that would be men defeating a woman. So that's out immediately. And then you've got, like, you saw Rachel's comment. We need peace and love, not hate and division. Well, that would be vengeance because they've just killed my friend, so I'm going to kill you. That would be justice. That would be morality. They have to strip it of that. But yeah, in this,
they took away the pies. I always wanted to learn how to do that. I'm like, how does she write their names with the crust?
Snow White doesn't go around cooking and cleaning for the dwarves anymore.
Oh, she tells them what to do.
They go to work and then they come back to her. They've been 279 years or whatever it is, living in their own house, their own bachelor pad in perfect harmony. And then some miserable cow comes along, starts going, your house is too dirty for me. If I'm going to stay here, you're going to have to clean it. And whereas in the original, all the animals go around cleaning everything, and then she picks up the broom and says, and I'll use the broom. In this, every dwarf gets a job, and she looks at one of them and goes, and you'll use the broom. And she just stands there and watches her little slaves work for her.
While teaching them how to whistle.
Wow. Sorry, I lost a couple of brain cells.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, it's because you can't have Snow White cooking and cleaning because that would be a gender role. So we're going to have to get those pesky men to clean up for her. She's a princess.
Baking is just in a woman's DNA, okay? Like, my little niece, as soon as she was of age to be able to, like, stir, she wanted to bake. She still loves it. Like, when she goes to, like, baby showers and stuff like that, if there's little baskets that have baking stuff, she's like, I hope I get that. She's a teenager now, but she's always just been into that. Like, little girls, we like to bake and stuff. I love to bake.
And you get a boy, and you show a range of toys, like a tea set. A tea set or a bow and arrow and a gun, and he'll choose the bow and arrow and a gun. We have guns for most of our revolution, but they choose weapons because they can hunt with them. So the guys go out, get the food, and then the women cook it. It was the perfect harmony, and now it's like, no.
Certain things are just in our DNA. Like, you put a Barbie and a Batman in front of a little girl. She's going to go to the pretty Barbie. A boy, he's going to go over to the masculine Batman because he's got to go save the world. Because men, it's like my cousin, I think I've told the story. My cousin, we used to play, he would play dolls with me, but he never played with Ken because Ken was gay, is what he said.
True.
And we were kids. Listen, we were kids. So he was always Hulk Hogan, and he always saved my Jasmine Barbie doll from the Undertaker. Like, the Undertaker always kidnapped her, and he had to be Hulk Hogan and save her.
I had Barbie and stole my brother's Batman and made them go on dates. I don't know. I like to play with both.
Yeah, but so did he. With yours, it was you put them on dates because it was the romance, whereas he was saving the princess.
Exactly.
These stories are just inherent in this. This is why when you strip this story of all those basic meaning, it has no soul. It doesn't connect with you in any way. Things are happening on the screen, but it makes you feel nothing because it doesn't have those fundamental storylines. And there's all this stuff where it's like, well, that's a trope. It's so basic. It's like, yeah, humanity is basic. It's genetic memory been passed down through thousands of years. And you're like, well, I think I know better because I'm 23 in Hollywood and a pervert.
That's not gonna get clipped.
Psychotic mongoose, get on it.
He's probably one step ahead of you. So what you actually see the kingdom, and the animated Snow White only features Snow White, the evil queen, and the huntsman, and the seven dwarfs. The live action film greatly opens up the world to the story by featuring people in the kingdom in both opening and closing musical numbers. Oh yeah, do you think I can play? Hold on, I see that. No, the white dancing dress. Okay,
I wouldn't.
I do think
the biggest problem in this movie, like the biggest difficulty, must have been when they were singing "Hi Ho." Rachel Zegler kept answering.
I know. Good one. Oh, good.
Loud and proud.
You called?
Let me see. I know I bookmarked something.
Oh,
here we go.
And yes, that dress did make her look like Lord Farquaad. Like when he got married.
The white one.
And I like how everyone was like, it's a Diddy party.
Yeah, I saw it.
They're all in white outfits, and you've got like crap in the air, like white crap flying around all over the place. It reminded me of like a chicken fight where just feathers are going everywhere. It just looks like they're having a fight.
Yeah. No, everyone's having a great time.
This is like one of the most diverse feudal towns ever. This would be an airport
mostly
lounge.
women.
Yes, there is a suspicious amount of women.
It's very blurry. I'm trying to get like a still. There you go, whatever. Lord Farquaad.
Oh, it looks like she's ready to receive something. Hi ho.
Why do you
Gooseberry
think
pie.
she's squatting?
Gooseberry pie. Yeah, this is. Oh my gosh, she's doing jumping jacks. Okay.
But that's like that's why I said like this beginning dance and song and the end should be like the celebration. Get excited about this movie, the culmination, and it just doesn't feel like that. I'm like, I'm glad it's over. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward.
Yeah.
I can't really remember exactly the ending, but I think with that it's more just the queen falls off the rock and then she meets the prince and just goes, they lived happily ever after.
What, in the animated version?
Show you it. Yeah, they just kind of left it up to your own imagination.
It ends with yeah, exactly. That's another thing. They made such a big deal about it, and it's like he's in it for like 5 minutes in the original. He just shows up, scoops up his girl, and he's out. Really?
Well, the romance in this is, if anything, that's more earned because he shows up at the start, and so you write your own history, essentially, of whatever's happened between them and just put your romance into it so it means more. Whereas in this, you see it and they fall in love for no reason. They just at a house and start singing how in love they are.
Yes. I don't understand the progression because it doesn't feel natural. They were like, oh, she's okay. So in the beginning, she kind of saves him. Like he gets like arrested or whatever. And she's trying to be like,
he's a bandit, right?
Yeah. He's like, oh, we should give some food, blah, 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 and let him go. But I don't remember what happened exactly, trying to get past that. And then they meet in the forest again, and they do that little rap battle, as Disprue calls it. And they're like, so
it's like a sing-off.
From that to the next time they see her, or they see each other, is that the time that he saves her and she saves him?
Yeah, he jumps in front of a crossbow bolt. So from her perspective, I could kind of get it if, well, this guy's willing to protect me, and you're like, well, okay, there's something like fundamental about that. But from his perspective, this is why you need a really attractive princess, because then you just be like, well, of course. It just
makes sense.
That does the shorthand for you.
She's got nice.
I was just gonna say, Sydney Sweeney, she's got boobs.
Well, the issue with Sydney Sweeney is she'd have to not act like Snow White, because Snow White wouldn't be wearing that kind of dress.
Well, Sydney Sweeney can hide her boobs. Remember, Madam
no, but if she hides her boobs, what's the point? Then you'll look at her face.
Then you get the treasure in the end.
No, but you would have to have somebody like attractive facially because they've got to be covered up.
He's like, no, we don't cover up the boobs. Stop. Like,
well, no,
it doesn't work. I don't want to look at her face.
No, for Snow White, she would have to be covered up. So she could be endowed, but she'd still have to be covered up. But it would be mainly a facial beauty that you're going off. Which is why you can't have Gal Gadot as the evil queen if Rachel is that, because they'll always be comparing. You essentially needed younger Gal Gadot as the princess. You'd need something like that.
Do you think Jenna Ortega would have been better?
Yeah.
She's a little too quirky for the role.
I think she's classier, but again, I don't think she beats Gal Gadot.
No.
Who would even be good for like
Listen, I thought that Mirror Mirror was a really good portrayal of the Snow White story. And they did kind of a girl boss thing, but they didn't do it annoyingly. Right? Like, and what was her name? Lily Collins. She's pretty. And then they had Julia Roberts, who's gorgeous as the evil queen. So it was believable. Like, I think overall, Julia Roberts probably is more attractive than Lily Collins, at least younger Julia Roberts. But it still worked because they made her, she was believable as Snow White.
Well, the other thing in this, because the original has a story, it's essentially just a woman who was beautiful, who is jealous of somebody who is younger and will eventually overtake her in looks. So you have the story of sort of a woman aging out against youthful beauty coming up. Like, there's always someone younger and more attractive coming up. So there was a story there in itself. Whereas in this, they change it to her magic comes from her beauty. And so she has to remain the most beautiful in order to keep her magic, in order to lead. Because they couldn't have a woman being jealous of another woman, because that would be against the system.
Well,
so
it happened in real life.
They have to strip it of everything.
With the... I forgot her name for a second. Rachel, who was definitely jealous of Gal.
Yeah.
In real life, you could see it. The petty, mean girl behavior.
Mm-hmm.
They had to tie her to a magic. Oh, you want about petty mean... there was a scene where she tries to pretend she really cares about the townsfolk. So, and you've probably seen the clip. It went around before the movie. She goes up to Gal Gadot, who's eating, and she's like snapping crab, and she says, I think these people need some food. He goes, I've never known you. You never used to be this opinionated. And she's talking about how something sweet can mean that you don't just survive, but it helps you feel like you're living. And then she goes, and I just think I need something sweet. She didn't go there to talk for pissing other people. She only went there for herself because she wants to eat an apple pie.
She
Everything in this
sounds
movie
like
is
the
selfish.
guy in Daredevil.
Yes, they're actually very similar kind of, it's similar, well, it comes from the same ideology. So you have similar things. There's also, if you remember when the fight comes, my favorite part of the movie, by the way, they're all hiding behind rocks, and they look, crossbow bolts come flying past them. They look over the rocks and see all the Queen's men lining up, and there's loads of them firing crossbows at them, flying past. They duck down, and the dwarf goes, "It's the Queen's men! They outnumber us 2-1. That we've just seen them on the pissing screen, you tart." Like, you don't have to spell out everything we've just seen.
Oh my god!
But
But that's what they do. Is like they try to tell the story, and it's like a lost art to just express it visually, because they think you're not watching the movie, so you have to be told how to feel, and that's like the same thing with Assassin's Creed, which is so freaking annoying, by the way. It's like today's audience doesn't know how to feel about certain lines or looks or whatever.
Very
on
true.
Netflix, you
I
understand
think we're all
it because
retarded.
on a Netflix movie, you will have side monitors and mobile phones and stuff that might distract you. This is a cinema movie. There's nothing else in the pissing room to do except watch it. And so you just come across as, you might as well have gone to the audience, "We think you're retarded." Like, that's all you need is to scream at them for that same line.
I can't stand that when they have to explain things to you. That's definitely more of a new thing within the last like 10 years or so, maybe more. But I don't remember growing up and having, like in the 90s, having movies explain what's going on in the scene to me. Same, Kara, half, but it's okay.
I don't know how this is possible, by the way, because this is something. Sorry, this made me think.
What?
How is this possible?
72. Yeah, okay.
Well, this is verified ratings. So what that means is, I think it's Fandango, this website. We don't even have it over here.
You're right. Yeah.
You won't even have European stuff. These are people that signed up through a specific website, which is linked to Rotten Tomatoes, and bought the ticket. Only they can. So you have to jump through 5 different hoops. You have to be very passionate about leading the review.
That's why.
You probably really care about the movies to even go to that effort. Yeah.
That is not a good measure of the score, obviously, because you're being so niche. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's because the audience score always used to be lower than the critics, and now it's always higher.
Unless it's an actual good movie. Then
but
the
even then, the audience will probably still like it more than.
Well, yeah, you're right. It does, but it's usually something like when it's actually a good movie, it's like 90% and then like 20% for the critics. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's very rare now to go below 80, 79% on any audience score.
Yeah, it's probably easier to be a reviewer than a verified rating on the audience score.
Yeah. Now, if you click something, I think you can go to an all audience. No, maybe not that. Can you click the number?
IMDb has 2.3 with 24K reviews, apparently.
Can you click on the actual number, not the words?
Oh, the number? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, then all audience.
Oh, okay.
That gets rid of the Fandango stuff.
Damn. Guys.
And top critics is 28.
That makes sense.
Now, top critics is far more filtered than the all critics. That's places like Variety, Deadline, your big major media.
43 critics here, and then we got
all critics would include your little blogs that's one person that has got onto Rotten Tomatoes that need the access.
That hurts. I'm sure. Oh,
and that's also backed up because I think it's 1.4 on Google as well. There's a lot of things like that.
Wow.
There's even a bit though. It's just after the fight, they tell Rachel to run off and save herself. And she's like, "No, I want to stay and fight with you." It's like, "You can't fight. Just, you're a princess, leave." Like, "No, I'm going to stay and fight." And afterwards, she goes, "See, I told you I'd save you and stay and fight." She didn't stay and fight at all. She told the animals to fight for her. So they stay and dance, get up in her dress and make it seem as if she's standing behind a tree. The animals get attacked and then they fly off. Rachel's nowhere to be pissing seen. She's on a horse on the other side of the pissing kingdom by this point. And she takes all the credit for other people's actions.
The prince isn't a prince in this. He's just a bandit. Like he's
criminal scum.
He's not a prince at all.
Yeah. I guess what Gal said is she's not going to be saved by the prince. It's technically true.
Yeah, although at that point as well, I don't think there was the love story, and I don't think that he probably even woke her up from an apple or anything. I think there's a lot of stuff within this which was added in afterwards. I think they tried to tone it down, which is why you get her split personality syndrome throughout the movie.
But I would have loved to see the full movie that they had made prior to the reshoots. To see how full of woke stuff or whatever they wanted to inject into it at whatever level, because it would have been like She-Hulk but worse.
I think most of the bandit stuff is probably original. I think all the songs are original. But I think the bandits got cut down, so that might have been a lot of the messaging. They may have been preaching more about how they're in a liminal space with different ethics and things, because only the leader has lines, the dwarf has lines, but it's mainly, "I'm the best crossbowman in the world." And I think 2 others have one line between them, but there's like 7 of these people. They barely speak throughout the entire movie. So I don't even know why they'd be cast unless they were cut out, essentially. And remember Rachel's line, "All of his parts could get cut, it's Hollywood, baby." Maybe they did to the rest of them.
True for some. Do you think that they probably gave more lines to the dwarves in the end than the bandits?
I wouldn't be surprised if the dwarves were expanded over time.
Yeah.
Because it's weird how much the dwarves are in the movie, and they're utterly pointless to everything involved. So I don't think the dwarves were in it much at all, originally. And I think there was probably more of this saving the kingdom rebellion storyline with the criminal scum. And I think they probably switched it out a bit. They cut down the criminals and input more of the dwarves. Because if you cut every dwarf out of this movie, nothing changes, really.
Yeah, they don't really. Their role was so integral in the original film. It kind of sucks to lose that.
That's just so silly. Like they really. I knew it wasn't going to be good. I knew they were going to throw bull crap in there, but I didn't think they were really going to do much with the dwarves. Because they're men, but they're also mystical creatures.
Yeah,
well, yes,
can make the gems shine.
The way they show their magical creatures, their hands glow, and then they touch the rock and they make the rock glow. So that's to show they're not dwarfs; they're magical creatures.
Is anything they touch glow? Like, do they have the power to make anything,
only,
or just rocks?
Only the rocks. That's how they find diamonds. Now, it is weird that that's how they find diamonds and stones, because this mine everywhere, all over the mine.
They don't even need to touch it. They could just find it just by hitting the rocks.
Yeah, just hit any bit of rock. There's a jewel in it. This is why, if those dwarves ever sold that, they'd crash the entire economy. There's way more jewels and diamonds and everything in there than there probably is on Earth. Now,
poor dwarves.
If you, there's just a couple of lines from this BBC review. Disney Snow White has a major identity crisis. That is, oh god, that is tiny.
Scroll.
But where is it?
Are you looking for the Marxism line?
Yeah, it's undoubtedly fascinating. It seems like the producers wanted to make good old-fashioned tribute to a feudal fairy tale, and the others wanted to make a revisionist Marxist call to arms. This is the BBC, one of the most left-wing woke organizations in the UK.
Not Pigeon.
And they're like, rather than settling on one option or the other, the producers apparently compromised by making both versions at once, so the results are a mind-boggling mashup of 2 different films. And that gets worse. The yeah, it's in the next one. The exposition. Where is it? It's not clear. Oh, that's yeah. They name her after the weather. The exposition continues with speeches and songs about the days when Snow White's benign parents ruled a kingdom for the free and the fair, where the bounty of the land belonged to all who tended it. This is the closest Disney. This has to be the closest a Disney princess film has got to praising the Communist Manifesto.
A Disney that line, a Disney princess film with communists in the same sentence. Like, what?
That shouldn't be a thing.
No, it shouldn't be a thing. It's ridiculous.
If the Daily Mail said this, you'd be like, yeah, it's the Daily Mail, whatever. When the BBC is going, it's a bit left for us. You're like,
yeah, that's saying a lot. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The BBC are like, no, sorry.
I can't even do it.
You've got a bit commie for me, thanks.
You've gone too far. Wow. I'm actually really glad I didn't waste my time going to see this. Good.
Yeah,
Lord.
don't waste your time. You're gonna want to like bang your head against the wall.
So this makes Little Mermaid look better, I guess.
Yes.
Little Mermaid is way better than this movie. Disney's Snow White becomes one of the year's most bluntly political films, Disney or otherwise. This is in the same year we've had Mickey 17.
I still haven't
Mickey
seen
17 is a masterpiece compared to this.
I want to see it. I might end up watching it once it's like free for streaming, because I did want to see Mickey 17, and I don't normally let reviews sway me, even if I hear that's really bad. I'm like, let me make the decision myself whether I think it's bad or not. But it does. Everything I've seen, it's like, this is going to be really bad.
Mark Ruffalo himself said it's just TDS, basically. He did an interview with, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, where he said
he's in it.
We did. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is like the leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said, I was playing a tin bot dictator, fascist, totalitarian leader, and I thought I overdid it, but given recent events, it turns out I underplayed it. And he is just Trump the entire movie.
He overdid it completely and just pulled you out of the movie.
Yeah, he does all the puckering with his lips. He talks about my big, beautiful, shiny rock. Have you seen my big, beautiful rock? It's the biggest rock you've ever seen, the shiniest rock. Like, there's a part where he's doing a speech and it pans out to the crowds and they've all got red baseball caps on. It's like everything about the movie is TDS. And Snow White is more bluntly political, according to the BBC.
That is saying a lot. You're right. That's even worse than like the Daily Mail. Like, wow.
Yeah, this is like the Communist Manifesto going as a bit commie for me. Like, that's how bad the BBC is.
Insane. Well,
it's Mark's going, I think you've got a bit far, love.
I'm glad this is over. Although, do you think this could be like the Acolyte, where it was the gift that kept on giving?
Maybe.
I think that's Rachel, not the movie.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like we had a lot of stuff from Amandla.
Every time people say that, I'm like, I did nothing. Like, I feel like people are gonna yell at me. Same thing like when with Wicked. I'm like, all the like thumbnails saying like Wicked, all the bad stuff that was going on. I'm like, it just kept grabbing my eye, and I'm like,
but at least Wicked was good. You know?
Yeah.
It was received way better than the Acolyte, and then this slop.
Yeah, but the Acolyte was funny, right? Because they had a load of women singing about how they were going to grab the thread and pull really hard and all this kind of stuff. They're making really suspicious noises between them as they grab the thread. Whereas this is just blunt politics. It's the difference between sitting in a government debate versus being in a comedy club. Acolyte didn't mean to be funny, but it was. Whereas this is just barefaced message.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There is no humor here.
Imagine what the what was the, for a blind audience, there was loads in the Acolyte. Yeah, my favorite was when she's holding the lightsaber at his throat. And she holds the lightsaber at his neck.
Somebody's read too many spicy novels.
It was like the throbbing blade glistens.
Oh my God!
Cheeks. And then there was another one where walking, like she saw his taut buttocks go into her predatory gaze dancing across his taut muscles. I'm like, whoa! She is way too into this.
She was feeling it.
Yeah, and they don't use the same VA for everything. She has a kind of that's kind of a voice anyway, as if she's trying to be sensual. But in some of the others, they've just got a bloke going, and then he got his sword out and started hacking at people. It's an entirely different reading. But it ends with going, this muddled production will be enjoyed more by politics and cinema students than children who are hoping to be enchanted by Disney magic. And I think that is true. You will
Disney
have a
lost
lot
its
of people.
magic.
You will have a lot of people analyzing this as if it's the perfect movie for kids because it indoctrinates them into their worldview. Like,
No
think of
kid is
the
gonna like this
deep-
movie, realistically.
I think what they were going for is, even though it's blunt to an adult, they think children are stupid. And
They do.
Children are not stupid, though.
Yeah, but I think that's why everything was spelt out so bluntly, because it was to get it was designed to get the message over to kids.
Yeah.
It was,
And
this is the best way to do the world.
That's the thing, like what they're doing, what Disney used to be, and they we've talked about this before, but they use the defense that when adults like us are coming at these movies, like, well, it's made for kids. It's like, okay, so one, Disney used to be family films, which meant it was for the whole family, and they threw stuff in there that the parents would get and the kids maybe not, but it wasn't messages like that. It was just like a funny adult joke, not like dirty. Well, sometimes maybe if you look at like the old like Little Mermaid cover and stuff, all that stuff from back
There's
in the
nothing wrong with
90s,
dirty
but
jokes as long as the children can't get them.
exactly that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so it used to be family films, and if you want to argue that okay, they're not going the family route anymore, they just want to make it strictly for kids. Kids deserve better entertainment. They're not as dumb, like you guys just said. They're not as dumb as these. They think. Like they think we're all dumb, retarded, and they gotta explain to us instead of visually showing us what's going on in the film. They gotta actually tell us what's happening because we're just so darn stupid. And it's
Well, it's
Disney
not just
is
that.
just-
The original Snow White movie wasn't just a family movie, but it was meant to promote the continuation of families. So
Yeah.
it was, you're a little daughter, but you will grow up, and when you grow up, you will want a prince because a prince will enhance your life and he will save you and he'll make your life better. And so you really want a prince, and then you'll have a family, and then you'll pass down your genetics to other people, and then they can go through this. So it was about this, like, the survival of the species, whereas this is about the survival of the indoctrination of this. Like, it is about the survival of the state, and that if you submit yourself to the state, then everything gets better. There is nothing in this about being pro-family and having kids and stuff. It is submit yourself to the state and your life will get better.
Yep. And on that note, I'm gonna catch up on super chats. Quick shout out to Raider, who is kind of in YouTube jail with donations at the moment. Thank you,
Why? What
Raider.
happened?
He gives too much, and then YouTube doesn't let him give anymore, and he actually got a refund.
Yeah,
at the
they cut
like
you
a
off.
sh-
I think it's $500.
He's been cut off this week. Or maybe next.
What?
It's so silly. I don't know why they have that. Super
YouTube
silly.
wants to stop
It-
you
it-
from giving money?
But
Yeah,
I just thought before we
because
hop into
it's
super chats,
probably-
we're gonna give Raider a shout out because we know you're still
Having-
here, Raider.
Having
thank you.
seen Twitch, there's been multiple cases where people have given like their rent to streamers and stuff because they want to
Didn't Pokemon? Didn't someone give their house?
Ah.
Yeah, and I've seen people where they're in a bad time, and so they give all their life savings to a streamer with the intention of doing something horrific, and then maybe they don't,
Oh.
and then they're like, oh crap.
It's
And
weird.
so they have to deal with loads of refunds and everything, and I think YouTube are like, well, if we don't take too much, the refunds won't be that bad. We won't get any trouble.
Yeah, it is silly, but yeah, I guess that is a point they're worried about fraud, but it's like Raider still
not
gets
just
a shout
fraud.
out.
It's
Thank
kind
you.
of protecting you for yourself. You can get into what's it called, like a parasocial thing where it can become a bit like gambling, where you get addicted to doing it because it feels
okay.
good.
Prevention of that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, Raider doesn't
I
have
think
that
it's done with
problem.
the best of intentions.
I'm just saying thank you, and
Well, it's
he'll
not
be
that
out
I'm
of
not.
the
I'm just
YouTube.
explaining why the system.
Oh no, I'm just making sure. Anyways, I just wanted to say thanks to give Raider a shout out. But Mentrix, thank you for the $10 New Zealand. What's worse than ants in your pants, Uncle?
Yes.
Did
Oh my
it look like 4 weeks ago?
god.
But this is what happens. It's like it's easily done, right? Your uncle puts like a towel over his lap, and he makes a rabbit appear who's doing his own magic
I
trick.
mean, you are so oddly specific about this.
Oh yeah, the
Ian's
worst
had
thing is if
happen.
you pet it, it gets sick.
Oh my god. Is it furry too?
That's a oh, what's his name? The guy that did The Office.
Ricky Gervais's?
Ricky Gervais. That's a Ricky Gervais joke.
Mate, thank you for gifting 5 memberships, and Mongoose also gifted a membership, and Bubba Matt became a new member. Thank you guys so much. Where's our stuff? Here it is. They move stuff around.
Saucy. This is
Couldn't
where it
find my-
turns out that
I couldn't find
X-ray
my
moves stuff
clips.
around.
Yeah. No,
She's
she
like
tell me.
reordering your clips. Like, I'm gonna make it's gaslighting. I'm gonna make her think
I'm
she's
gonna
gone
totally
insane.
just like right now, just flip everything around on her.
It's like,
Just watch
This is
backstage
different.
like Jason Webster, thank you for the Australian 5. Hi to the fabulously frolicsome X-ray girl. Amazingly astute wicked virtue and the human Ferrari of rapid fire sardonic wit, Disparu. Thank you, Jason.
It's such big words.
I know, and I read them all without any issues. I'm getting smarter.
I think we've run out of the dictionary, and so we're now adding
now
more
we know.
adjectives.
I
We
like
know
the
all the words.
alliteration. Some of it.
Andrew, thank you for the 5. Hey, sexy nerd wicked, Snow White X-ray, and James Bond Disparu. I heard that Disparu says that the
Because I
new
cry
Snow
all
White
the
is
time
the
and have my
best.
balls hit in the.
Is the best movie of
Hey.
2025. You better
What
be
you like at
careful.
home, we don't care about. No kidding. Or maybe we do care. I don't know. Ah!
I actually best movie of 2025. If you want to go off the movie that
I
I
haven't
would
been in
like
here
the
long
most,
enough.
I have high hopes for Jason Statham's. I really like The Beekeeper. I just wish
still have
they'd
to
cut
see
out the
that.
side plot. But I am looking forward to A Working Man when it comes out. I've always liked just classic
I
action
never
movies.
watched Beekeeper.
I have to see
Really
that. I
good.
want to. I heard it was good. I want to see it. Mate, thank you for the 5. Step 1, reject traditional femininity. Step 2, wonder why you're depressed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Step 3, get
Don't
cats
worry.
and box wine.
The SSRIs will fix that for you.
In box wine specifically. Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. Wicked
Dang.
didn't see it. Disparant. That's crazy.
That is so true.
Look,
That's
Wicked
wild.
not seeing it is entirely her fault. She had
Sorry.
every possibility to see it.
I missed it. Nick Hammerschmidt for 10. I didn't watch Snow White, but I did endure the pain of watching The Passion of Christ yesterday. Still, my time was better spent watching that over Disney DEI.
I remember all the scandal when that came out.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know much about the opinions of the movie, but I think most people. Well, I think I heard.
I
some
think
good
most
stuff
people
about it.
liked it, but it was very shocking for the time. Like people were, I mean, it's like the story, right? But seeing it, some people just weren't ready.
Yeah, that's. I think over time I've heard more people say they liked it more than talk about the scandal. So I don't know whether they got used to whatever that shock was. I don't know.
Iris, thank you for being a member for 1 month. My first saucy since December. Cheers to you all being here and taking one for the team watching Snow White, except Slacker Wicked. Hey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wicked.
I'm sorry, okay?
Look, I am not the kind of person that watches it so you don't have to. I watch it because I enjoy the cringe and like laughing at it.
Disparu prefers to watch bad TV than good TV.
I wish
I
you
watch it
could have
because I'm
watched
selfish.
and
He's
made a video
selfish.
of it. Right. You know how you do your videos of see the images and then you cut.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. But unfortunately, you couldn't do it with this sense much.
No, although The Studio is out on Wednesday, a Seth Rogen comedy about Hollywood. And it's just going to be what Seth Rogen hates about Hollywood. And it's from the trailer. I don't know where, like, it could go either way. But from the trailer, it seems to be what they think is wrong about Hollywood and why movies have gone downhill. So I think even if it's not funny or it's not worth a video, it'll be interesting to see what they think the problems are.
It's
And
Trump.
Well,
Of
it
course.
seems like they're blaming it on the executives. So they think they're perfect artists that if just left alone and given loads of money, they could create art. And it's all the people putting in their oar that ruins the movies. That's what the trailer makes it look like. And they also have a problem with influencers downgrading the quality of award shows. So now you have like TikTok stars and stuff on the red carpet. And,
Yeah,
like,
I
it
saw
ruins all
that.
our prestige.
There's a couple
No.
YouTubers that I watched and they're just like for like fun that do like silly videos and stuff, and they're at the Oscars and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yeah. Well, this is
Mm.
there's a clip where they're at the Golden Globes. I remember when the Golden Globes used to mean something. It was apparently a joke in itself that no one thought the Golden Globes meant something. But it's mainly that it meant more than the influencers, is what they're saying. And then one of them goes, well, you're going to have to get used to it. That's how we're still turning a profit. If we get rid of those, all of this will go the way of DEI. And so they're even taking the piss out of, like, they're saying it's a bad thing, obviously, because that's what Putin's move is. But you don't want the award shows to go. It's, I think it could be interesting. I think it's going to be too honest.
They should just have a party amongst themselves and not air it
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Nobody cares anymore. I mean, of course there are some people that do, but it used to be an actual, like, I don't know if prestigious is the correct word, but it was an event.
It was.
It was glam, prestigious and glam, and you always wanted to see like what the starlets were wearing, and even the guys would be just so fan.
Stuff they would say too, because now that social media is where it's at, we almost know too much about the stars. So then we don't want to watch the red carpet and these interviews. It was like, I already know you through Instagram. It's fine.
That's why I find the certain things, like the people obsessed with seeing Taylor Swift, like just a snippet of her at the football games. It's like she probably posts every freaking day on Instagram. It's not like you have to go get a magazine to hear like where she was vacationing. Everything is on social media. You can see everything. And the people that are that obsessed that they don't like football, but they just needed to see her go, yay, at the window. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, but that's because Taylor Swift fans hate their own life. They're all miserable. And so they're living vicariously through her. And so they need to see what she's doing because they're putting themselves into her position. So by her having a great life, they're improving how they feel about their own rather than actually improving their own situation. It's just... they can delay gratification, essentially. That's the wrong phrase because that means something else. But they can procrastinate improving their own life because they feel like they're living a good life through her. Whereas if she wasn't there, they'd have to think, I'm miserable and it's my fault and I could fix it. That's what they don't want to fix.
I don't want to have to fix. I want to complain and then continue to live this life.
The issue with removing the audience so they can have a party is the party isn't the point of the Oscars. It is prestigious, but that prestige, that value of the award comes from the audience. So when it was massively popular and 50 million people watched it, that's what gave the Oscars its value. If you shut off the audience, no one cares, no one watches it, what's the point of the award show?
The audience already left.
Well, no, they still have like, however many millions it is. It's like 40% of what it was, but that's still the only reason you have any prestige. If you shut off that audience, you have nothing. You have a statue and some alcohol. So, like, no, that award means nothing. The weight of the award comes from the audience thinking that award has value. Without televising it, without prestige, yeah, you can get pissed, but you get pissed anywhere. You might as well just go to a random bar down the road and give yourself an award. That's actually a good point. Why don't they just give themselves an award? It's because if other people don't believe in your award, it's meaningless.
I was waiting for Ian to say something when he said that.
He brought it anyway. He would go into the Oscars with a hip flask.
And his own reward. I could totally see that, or award. But then you don't get like the awesome moments, like Beyonce when she totally didn't know she was gonna win the country award, and she's like, that was the worst acting I've ever seen. Like, it's normally like when you get an award, you're like, oh, and she's like,
I miss when drama happened. That slap, Kanye taking the mic from Taylor Swift, like things like that.
Well,
where Kanye is crazy these days, still though.
That's the issue. What the audience wants from the awards and what they want are different things. So they want the prestige. They want to feel like they're because they live in luxury all the time. So things like going to a 5-star hotel doesn't make them feel special. They have to have millions of people adore them at all times to feel like they're getting attention because they've desensitized themselves to anything less. Whereas the audience, they're like, you're all scum. We don't like you. We want to see you get what you deserve. This is about justice. We want to see you get taken down a peg or two because you think you're better than me. And that's why Ricky Gervais was so good, because he dragged them down. And so you've got this mismatch. The audience wants to see you humiliated, and you want to be adored. And there is no way to stop that. Everyone hopes that Will Smith goes up. This is all Hollywood treated Will Smith as if it was a disaster. I don't think that harmed his career at all. Well, harmed his career maybe professionally. I don't think it harmed his reputation. It showed people what was going on between him and his wife, and I think people felt sorry for him, which makes him look weak, which may have done his thing.
He still got an Oscar that night, didn't he? He still got an Oscar. I don't even think he even got kicked out of the Oscars. Yeah.
I think he did, and the police were called.
Really? Well, I think he still got an award, though. Or maybe it was like the not Grammys. It was something afterwards.
I think he got his award taken from him.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
There was the they treated it like a bigger deal than everyone else. Everyone else just started looking into the relationship with him and his wife, and then they were kind of like, "You should just divorce." And I think
then
if
her
you divorced
book
her,
came out, and the podcasts and all that.
well, the podcast and everything were before. Yeah, it's
No,
just
I
people
meant
started
like
looking
the.
into it.
What was that? One that
Everyone's
came out with
saying
her. He celebrated Big Willie's. Oh my god!
Yeah, because I remember seeing like
Getting jiggy with it.
celebrations or something. Yeah, he was. Anyways, let me finish catching up on these super chats. We're like an hour behind.
I think if Will Smith had walked on the stage and gone bang, and then turned around and gone, "I want a divorce," and walked off stage,
that would have been
gone down
that
in
was
history
so good.
as
It would've
one
been
of the
like,
greatest
yes.
actors. Because people would have been like, "What happened?" But then they would have looked into it and gone, "Sheaf deserves it." And it was like everyone would have been on his side.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that was around. So when her book came out and Britney Spears' book came out, I listened to both.
Did you? I only listened to Britney's.
Britney's is like, I
great.
mean, I know there was
I
probably a
liked it.
ghostwriter, but it was really good in comparison to Jada's book. It was like the stories she told.
You're brave for reading it.
Well, I didn't read much of it.
I'm
The stories she told
She
just
probably
didn't
didn't write much of it.
feel genuine or heartwarming. Like the way it was written just didn't come across very sweet as she had maybe wanted it to.
Yeah. Well, because she wants to come
Unfortunate for
off
her.
as like she's, I'm just a strong, powerful woman, but no, you're just not. That's it. Market reality for 2. Will Rachel be in the Cornhub remake? You never know. We'll see what happens after her theater career.
Already been plenty of those remakes.
I'm sure.
Her boobs aren't big enough.
It's true. Saw, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Hi to the very beautiful extra girl
Not
and
a
the
CGI in the world.
and the sexy Italian Wicked Virtue and the funny Disparu. I saw the new AI chat Snow White video. I put it in Discord. Oh, they did the
I didn't know there was a new one. I
There's a
keep
few
seeing
of them,
the
right?
first one repeated on Twitter. Like it's gone round again, as if loads of people haven't seen it on Twitter. I've not seen a new one out. Although it would make sense if they'd done one for the release, I guess. The great thing about Rachel is you can use her as like a leveling. Like if you're ever building something, putting up a shelf, perfect leveling device.
Thank you for another 50 pounds. Now, Disparu Jr. You see the chimney just like you highlight a Hollywood Reporter article, which you've seen me do a million times.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him on like he just grabs onto the pole, like what are those the bear, not polar bears, Australian things. They grab onto
Koalas?
the pole and the koalas.
Yes.
Like a koala, he just grabs onto a pole and you shove him up the chimney.
I was gonna say kangaroos because they're bullies.
You're not going to fit a kangaroo up a chimney.
No,
I mean,
maybe a
they're
baby
too,
one.
They're
just deer that have gone to prison.
They're very diesel. It's true. Jason Webster, thank you for the Australian 5. Apparently, Jonathan in Snow White is no longer Prince Charming. He's Che Guevara in disguise. Apparently. Black Cane for 5. I'm a communist with my...
All of that stuff comes from Rachel. He never talks about how he wants to bring about his new utopia where everyone works together. He's more like, I think everyone should work for ourselves. If anything, he's sane. Except when he goes for her.
He's sane. Yeah. I'm a communist with my family, a socialist with my friends, and a capitalist with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it actually makes a lot of sense. There's been a lot of talk about how communism is just between the family. I actually, a lot of people are like, no, it's not true. But from an instinctual point of view, it kind of is. The parents own all the things and they distribute it across the kids. It does work.
I guess, yeah, it does make sense. Mate, thank you for the 5. It's not about looks, it's about inner beauty. Then they cut to Rachel Zegler, lol.
No, they do. That's the end of the movie. I forgot about that. It ends with the evil queen, who they say is evil, by the way, because she takes over and the first thing she does is institute taxes and enlarge the state. So that was kind of based. But at the end, she goes, Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's fairest of them all? And he goes, well, you make your beauty is skin deep, but Snow White's beauty comes from deeper within her. It's going essentially, she's got a nice personality, which if you've ever said that to a woman, she will slap.
It's not.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you think beauty isn't skin deep, just imagine how you'd look without that skin. All right, that's not a pretty picture.
Billy D. Shilliams for $1.99. It's college commie. We are all equals if I'm in charge.
Yeah, that is the weird thing. That like this land belongs to all of us. Well, it actually belongs to me because I own everything. But I'll say it belongs to you as long as you work it.
As long as you agree with me.
Yeah, she's a very good Stalin.
Jason Webster, thank you for another Australian 5. Listening to the new songs in Snow White is like undergoing colonic irrigation with a garden hose.
Ooh.
Where they use Tabasco sauce, not water.
Oh, I hadn't read the end.
Why? Wait, guys, have you ever had the Ring of Fire?
Burns, the Ring of Fire. The Ring of
Like
Fire.
literally, you eat the spice,
not
and when
really.
it comes out, you can feel the spice.
I don't
happened
really
to me
go
a
for
handful of
anything above
times.
like jalapenos though. So
Yeah, so that does not feel good. So a Tabasco sauce. Ah. Ouch.
Jason, thank you for another 5. Walt Disney isn't rolling in his grave. He's doing full gymnastics repertoire, handstands, cartwheels, handsprings, jumps, rolls, and split leaps.
he's the first 0-point energy module we've ever created.
Andrew Matthews has a question. Thank you for the £2. How much do the bandits look like the leaked photo?
Exactly, they're the same people.
Okay.
They're exactly the same.
And the 7 Californian baristas.
Yes, it is.
And the auntie with the candy in her purse.
It's probably the most diverse checkboxes you could get in 7 people. They were 100% targeted to
There
tick
was
off
a
as many
dwarf,
things.
for goodness sake.
Just
It's
one, though.
why I don't
not
think
7.
the dwarfs were like a big part of the movie. I think it mainly centered on them because all the tick boxes are in them. It's very weirdly done, especially if they have so few lines.
I bet you they just had a list and was like, let's see how many we can tick off with these group of people.
Yeah.
It is. You look at them and these 7 people have never gotten together in the history of the universe on any place on Earth. You would never find this group of people together, except at like an incel convention.
Ariel, thank you for the 10. From what I hear,
these 7 people are the genetic dead ends of their time. Like, these are the kind of people where you look at them and you think, you probably need to go to hospital. I know you don't feel ill, but there is definitely something wrong with you. Their genetics are crying out. Like, anything where you're like, the most high-quality sperm is the one. No, they disprove it. They disprove everything we know against biology. There is nothing about them that should have survived in this timeline. We're meant to have evolved these people out, and yet here they are, 7 people together. This is like a black hole, a matter contingency that has just sucked in all the scum of the universe and popped out 7 people.
You just made me think of something. So modern medicine and technology has reduced so many evolutionary pressures to allow bad
infant
genes
mortality
in.
alone.
So and this is the result, I guess. So yay!
Yeah. Well, it is. We used to essentially the weaker ones used to die off as kids, and so you would always have selection presses for wealthier, more intelligent people because they were the ones that could afford the better healthcare, the better food, the better spaces, all the way through the life, less stress, less work, and so they would survive. So you always had upward pressure on society, and now it's just lower pressure. It's all downhill from here. Folks.
Yeah, like C-sections weren't a thing before, and then obviously, like birthing hips are not as much of a worry.
One of the most interesting theories that I've heard about pressure was, you know how, the class mobility. So like, working class can get up to middle class can get up to upper class.
Oh, yeah,
and that was deemed as good. But someone raised the point that what you have with that is you used to have a load of factory workers or working class people that would have a problem, and there would be someone that didn't really belong there but was way more intelligent than the rest of them. And that person could solve all those people's problems. So they would go to the smart guy in the room, and he would fix all the problems. He would sort everything out. Everything would run properly. Well, now that guy's like up here somewhere. He's got promoted. He's done the all better. It's better for him. But now you end up with a class of people who essentially can't solve that. There's no one there to go to, and so everything starts to crumble because essentially these are people that keep things running. And so when you have, everyone blames DEI for everything, oh, why didn't players crash and everything, but it could just be as simple as there is no one at the bottom level to fix the problems anymore. You don't have the intelligent guy in the room that they can go to and be like, this, what do I do about this? Who just is like a cut above.
I just assumed that would have been managers, but that is one way to think about it. That
anyone that has worked in a place and tried to get help from a manager, that doesn't work. Also, I don't think I've ever been in a job where my manager knew what he was doing more than the people on this that were actually doing the job. They tend to be not people that got promoted from the bottom level to that level. They were brought in from outside, and then they were just managers. So they weren't experts in the field. They were just managing people.
That would be the more corporal route, and I think that a lot of hospitals that I've been to, the managers were usually promoted from like the crop of the techs. So I didn't see that where they
it might be different across
talent.
industries. In corporations, definitely true. I have been for some interviews where I've walked out of the interview going, this guy's an idiot. This guy's had no idea. Like, how are you supposed to decide whether I'm good at the job or not when you don't know, when you don't understand anything about the job? I've been to some wild interviews.
Okay, so I just never experienced that.
I showed a guy a graph he couldn't read. I'm like, how do you not know what this is in this job? It's like it was absolutely wild. But that may be where I started to lose the respect for working industry. It's like, I should probably stay out of
this. Sorry, you got in the X dispa queue.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, Ariel. We're back. And also, hi, Jay. Thank you for the 10, Ariel. From what I hear, the dwarves were not... Oh my gosh, we're not in the original movie. When Backlash to the 7 Hippies happened, they made new dwarf scenes, reworked the hippie scenes, which is why the dwarves seem so inserted. I heard that too.
Yeah, and I've not looked into it. I can only go off Ryan's commentary from FNT yesterday, where he said,
I don't know.
They know when they hired the voice actors for the dwarves, so they were in the movie all along. I do still think, even despite that, I think the movie we're watching now isn't the one then, and I don't think the dwarves had as big a part as that, or I think the criminal scum had a much bigger part. Something's definitely changed.
Criminal
something
scum,
weird.
Is that what they're called in the movie, or is that just what you call them?
That's what I call them, because that's what they are.
Criminal scum.
Bandits and all.
He's yelling at them to get off his lawn. Dang kids.
Stop being filth.
Well, I didn't see the movie, but I agree with you.
There is a time in the movie where he ends up in prison, unlike Based.
I still can't believe that he's not a prince. He's like, whatever. You know what? My head
criminal
hurts.
Scum.
I'm glad that I didn't go see the movie. Justin Martin, thank you for the 10. I'm sick of Snow White already. Yes. I just can't wait until Ironheart releases. I just hope they do it weekly so Disparu can review it episode by episode.
This is the point, though. This is just, I'm fed up with this trash. I want this trash to arrive. It is like the perfect
Give me more trash.
modern entertainment.
The crazy part is people love the reaction content from the not so good shows and movies more than the movies. It's just
TV is just
how good
it's just better.
It is now.
Like you can't really do a review unless you can show what you're talking about, because you can say, like, I showed you I said the line about the liminal space being different ethics and motives. That doesn't carry, for a start, it doesn't sound true. But it doesn't carry the same weight unless you hear the dwarf say it in the movie. Like that is wild that you thought this was good. So with TV series, when you can put the clips in, it's way better. So I'm really hoping for the studio and Doctor Who. I think Doctor Who's gonna be wild.
Oh yeah.
The
last Doctor Who.
Disparu, you made Raider mad.
I'm offended by your description of what do you do? I won't be working the hours I do if I couldn't mentor my team. Oh, he's a manager.
Oh, manager.
Yes. I'm not saying all managers are crap. What I'm saying, a manager's are crap if they don't know the job. Like, if you couldn't do the job that you're managing, you don't know what you're doing. That's basically it. Because that person will have a problem, right, in their job, and they go, I can't do this. Well, if you can't tell them a solution, you can't manage them. They're like, well, sort it out yourself. Well, what are you there for?
I don't understand.
You have to have done the job.
This chain Jay in the chain lore in the chat. He's probably not even in here. He comes in and says something funny and then leaves. People are talking about chains in the chat. Someone explain the lore to me, please. Thanks. I'm curious. Harold Kami, thank you for the 5. Sounds like this was written for kids by people that don't have kids. Exactly.
A lot of stuff is.
That's how it is. Yes.
Basically all of California, though, isn't it? Like, they are the people that don't have kids, but they still want to indoctrinate the next generation, so they have to indoctrinate yours.
But
It's the same thing with Russell T. Davis. Russell T. Davis
Mike.
is incredibly occupied with what kids think for somebody that can't have them.
But the sad part is I'm sure there are people who can make products for kids just as you can make other IPs for different types of people out there. It's just they don't understand what kids normally like. I don't think you necessarily have to have kids, but you have to be able to empathize and they even hang out with kids in general.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not really where I was going. And it's not that you can't produce something for kids. It's that the current ideology systematically forces you down a road where you won't have kids. So everything about it, the female girl boss, don't get married till really later on.
I
Don't kids till 30. Like, all of that leads you down an alley where you will not have kids because it's physically impossible. You hate men, all that kind of stuff. And then you want to pass that on to kids. And kids are born from people that didn't believe your ideology because otherwise they wouldn't have had them. And so you're essentially trying to take somebody else's generation and ruin them because you want them to be miserable as you are. This is why Snow White is so awful, because if you followed all their instructions, you would end up in hell, basically. And they're like, no, this is the world we want to create.
Mike is speaking some words about kids.
He's mad. He's about to fight a kid or something. Calm down, Mike. He's like, I know kids, okay?
Yeah.
Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. Kids aren't dumb and deserve better, but you credit the writers too much if you think that's their goal. They're generally that dumb. Genuinely that dumb. Yes.
I don't disagree, but my entire thing has been that they're so thick they can't abstract or conceptualize, so they only know the world from their perspective, and so they can only replicate their perspective. Like, they couldn't tell a decent story. It's impossible for them to, because they can only tell their worldview, and their worldview is this. And so whether they make it for kids or make it for adults, it's the same story, it's the same message, it's the same values every time, because they can't see the world through another person's perspective. So yeah, they are thick and stupid. That's why everything's as bad as it is. But they have to treat themselves as the default because they can't imagine anything else. And if you dislike something, it's for the same reason they like it, because they can only understand the world from that perspective.
And that's the crazy part is empathy should be a big reason why you're able to write stories if you can get behind someone's perspective, and they just don't have it.
He's at 1.5. Of course, he gets a lot of words in, Ian. Harold Kami, thank you for another 5 pounds. What's the difference between your job and your wife? After 10 years, your job still sucks. Oh.
Oh, you're not doing the right thing if your wife doesn't suck anymore.
Hey, no, if she doesn't suck, that's on her. That ain't got anything to do with him at all. But tell the miserable cow to start.
I didn't realize.
The key is not to marry her, then she has to do something to stay with you. She doesn't have your money at that point, so what's she gonna do? The problem is her getting half in the divorce. That's the problem.
Okay, I'm back.
Don't give her your money.
Camera Wicked. It's fine.
Don't marry her money. She's got to suck in 20 years as well. She did the first time.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Jason Webster, Australian 5. Debbie Moore shouldn't be upset at not winning an Academy Award. She will be great. She will get one the next time she buys a specially marked box of Cheerios.
I don't really know what that means.
I don't either.
Debbie Moore lost out to Honora.
Who's that?
In the Oscars.
It's about a.
It's about a slag.
Yes.
Honora is the one where she stood in front of the Oscars. You know, it's supposed to be a high class event. People are getting goodie bags of $150,000-$200,000 each, and she went, "This one goes out to the slags." I want to dedicate this award to the sex workers.
You know
Oh.
what? I saw a cute picture of Demi Moore celebrating Bruce Willis's like 70th birthday, and I think she's still winning. She's still got a family that
I think if you were going to give an Oscar to Honora because you wanted to give it for somebody that played a slag in a movie, then you should have give it for you should just posthumously give it to Demi Moore for Striptease. That was the movie.
She was in the movie. The movie's called Striptease, where she played a stripper.
Oh, the movie Striptease. I was thinking substance.
She's like,
I'm like, did she
no,
she's naked.
No, stripped. That's the movie she deserved an award for.
Oh.
We can backdate it. Like at the time, people weren't as enlightened as they are now. But if we're going to give it to Honora, Striptease was a better movie.
I never.
It's one Odin couldn't watch.
Our favorite health minister's here. The health minister of Belgium for $1.99. Structure fire at Epcot. Yeah, I actually just saw that. Valiant just tweeted about that.
Oh, that's not good. That's
I don't know what
alcohol
happened.
is.
Yeah, I know.
That's why it went up so fast.
Dang it!
Like all the food is just fat grease with alcohol, so
it's like its own weakness.
Yeah, I don't know. It was at the World Showcase.
That sucks.
I don't know more.
What?
It's Oh, here we go. I was saying, is Jay still here? The France area was burning up. Disprew's not going to feel bad about that.
Who gives a toss about France? What, it caused tens of pounds of damage.
I love their champagne. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so Drunk started it. Yeah. Have you ever noticed Drunk is always there? At any theme park disaster, whether it's a guy getting pushed over in a costume and he's like, I didn't do it. He gets on fire. He's like, I was there. It's just, what a coincidence.
He didn't say he was there. He said he went live. He probably went live from his house.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, but his house is like 2 minutes away. He drives home. I was like, it wasn't me, I promise.
Great. Now you're gonna start more. Oh, you were there?
Yeah, he was there.
See?
Jay, did you start?
I told you. Hey, look, if stereotypes are so wrong, how come I'm always right? That's the problem.
I was trying to stick up for Jay because now it's gonna be like another meme, but I can't. I'm just gonna be quiet.
Like he just starts his live stream. You see a box of matches in front of him. He's like, "Oh crap!" He's smoking a big cigar.
See, no, he left before the fire.
Yeah, that's what they all say. We're gonna need a timeline and video evidence.
You need to get a monocle and like you know what I mean? Like a monocle.
I need one of them Sherlock Holmes hats.
Yeah, and one of those
hats.
Oh yes,
and
a cane,
and the coat,
and cane.
And you need.
I always want a cane. A cane should just be. I want to bring canes back. Canes and capes.
Does he have a
pipe? Way you can beat a peasant with it.
Oh, and can you get the pocket watch, please? I love the idea of a pocket watch.
Pocket watches do seem cool, but then you need a top pocket. That's the problem there for a pocket, because there's no use having it in your pocket. You need a top pocket to pull it out.
Pull it out. Oh, I'm fiddling
like
with
a
this.
handkerchief corner in there as well.
Oh gosh,
put
like, the rope down.
Do you have like a watch? Do you have a watch that you can spin that goes in your top pocket, or a handkerchief square? Or
yeah,
both?
they're fancy.
I'm not sure how you have both. I don't think that would work.
No, you know what? I think your hanky should be here, but like on your inner pocket, not on the outside.
No, the entire point of the handkerchief square is it adds a flare of color.
That's
to
just a pocket square, but then you have your watch in there.
What do you think a pocket square is?
I don't know.
This needs
it's just for decoration. You know, it's like a tie.
The handkerchief is the pocket square. It's folded.
What?
So I'm like, do you have the handkerchief, or do you have the watch?
I think your watch should be in your side pocket. I think that would work better, and then you can.
Well, I mean, hey, it's better that you call the giggle
chain. Don't they have the chain on the pocket
You need
watch?
the chain, yeah, because you could lose it otherwise.
Then that means he's in a gang.
Smack a peasant in the face with it if he's not on a chain.
Oh my god!
The entire point is you could spin it around like.
Yeah, it'd be easier to spin a pocket watch around lower than up here.
What are you talking about, Ian?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's attached to your belt, but I think it goes up inside and goes over there. But I do think, I mean, it's a fine line between calling Drunk 3PO the giggler and the jiggler. So,
can you be a giggler and a jiggler?
You could giggle as
Can
you
you
jiggle.
giggle?
That's what Santa does.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, wee.
Or
As
it-
you set
what was
fire
that
to
key?
France.
Can you do that again? I missed it.
No, I did it once. That's enough.
you could
Mongoose,
giggle-
can you get it? Did you just go wee? What did you just do?
I jiggled.
Oh,
Obviously.
okay.
I
And
was
then you
being
giggle.
drunk 3PO. I was impersonating the guy that burnt down France. Look, I'm not gonna have a problem with him burning down France. That's based as hell.
Is that how you think Jay laughs? Like, and then just this little Jay.
No, well, the jiggler would be he goes to France and just starts like flashing people. You know, Joan of Arc walks past, he starts punching her in the face. This is why he burnt it down. He burnt the evidence of destroying France like it deserves.
Spro.
Look, he's conquering France for the greatness of the British Empire.
Yes.
To be honest, Trump has just said he's going to join the Commonwealth. It's like, well, that might happen again.
Lone Wolf for 2. Are they going to add a category for AI movies? One day, possibly. I would not be surprised.
I think all movies will end up AI movies. I think it's
At some
there was
point,
one-
yeah.
I can't remember what it was. Some tweet about it. Someone was on about AI. I bookmarked that, I can't remember the
Jiglaroo.
topic.
That's one. You have another name. It's a new one.
Jiglaroo.
Drunk 3PO is
Love
one
it.
called the Jiggler. I mean,
But you
The
just jiggled. He
jiggler
said
and
it,
the
but you
jiglaroo.
did it. He
I
said
was
it, but you did
impersonating
it.
Drunk 3PO of what he does when he burns down a Disney
Mhm.
property.
Mm-hmm. Likely story.
Well, obviously, Drunk 3PO couldn't do it on camera. He's been arrested by the police for burning down Disney.
Then how is he in the chat? They let him keep his phone?
It's this one phone call.
Saucy
It's
says
like,
one
can I
phone
use
call.
my mobile? They're like, well, I'll give
Oh my
you 30
gosh.
seconds on Snapchat.
Snapchat? What are you, like 60? No one uses Snapchat anymore.
Look, a lot of people send dick pics,
Look.
all right? That's what happens on Snapchat. I've seen Harry Sisson.
You should be careful what you just said. Hold
What?
on.
Do you
Lexica,
not
hold
know
on a
about his
second.
latest scandal? Everybody in the world was amazed that Harry Sisson was actually straight.
I don't know who that is.
That was one of the greatest surprises in all of human history. That Harry Sisson actually likes women.
Who is Harry Sisson?
Harry Sisson, you've probably seen him. Yeah, Google him.
I'm
It's a
Googling
picture.
him.
He is a
yeah, I didn't know him either.
he is a Democrat kind of. He always comes out with whatever the party line is.
Oh,
Previously, it came out that he was based.
Here, I'll show you chat in case you don't
I think
know.
it was his agency was paid by the DNC, and he's like, "I've not received money from them." It's like, yeah, but your agency has. And this is the guy
Just
who
through
always
his father?
he
Sorry.
pinches his cheeks so they go rosy red before he goes on camera because his target audience is that of the DNC, which is 40-year-old miserable women with no eggs. And so he's like, I'm gonna pinch my cheeks so I appear like a really young child, and then they'll really like all my messages. And then it turned out that he's been going around from woman to woman to woman to woman, like Destiny.
Hey.
And he's
Oh, that's not a good thing.
He has been telling them whatever he needed to tell them to get them to send pictures of themselves to him without any clothes.
White guys for Kamal.
And that
is that
caused a
the
mass.
main guy?
I don't know.
And there was all the people trying to
The
cancel him. And it's like, they
celebrities.
all sent it voluntarily and stuff. So I don't care. The only thing I'm surprised is like that. How is that guy actually into women in the first place? I was stunned.
He was shocked and flabbergasted.
Yeah, I was amazed that anybody that camp could actually be into women. It turns out that it doesn't matter how low your testosterone is. Some impulses are too strong to overcome.
Power of the pussy.
Well, I mean, by genetics, but
Damn.
there's a very, very old joke about how back before everyone was slags, there was a man wanted to meet a woman. He was like, "Oh, she said, I can't do anything. We don't know you
It's
well
true
enough."
story time. Listen up.
So he's like, "Well, okay. Well, what in a month then? Well, maybe in a month." And she's like, "Well, okay. I'll get to know you better." And then in a month, she's like, "No, I can't. I don't know you well enough." So 6 months later, we're getting to know. She's like, "Well, maybe I'll let you cop a feel." And he's like, "Cops a feel." He's like kind of going in, but she's like, "No, you need to know me more." So a year later, or 2 years later, he's been slowly working up to it. She goes, I don't know. We'll have to get married before you can do anything else. I'm gonna have to know you for at least 3 years more. He says, "Well, okay. If I can at least see it." Okay. you can see it, but I'm not going to marry you for 3 years more, and nothing can more happen until I marry you. He's like, okay. So she lifts up her skirt. She shows him what's there. It's like, you sure that can last 3 years?
We don't get it.
I don't get it. No.
Put it this way. It's called bumping uglies for a reason.
Sorry. This reminds me of the
Look,
squirrel
if
in the
it's
red
meant to be a
Riding
roast beef
Hood.
sandwich,
We're
that's
like,
been
what?
left on the side for a while.
Oh, Mike got it.
I had to phrase it in food for them to understand.
Sorry. I mean, I do like food, but now I don't want to have a roast beef sandwich. Chat was like, because says we were.
Well, at least it wasn't just us. Usually. Wow. Thanks, Disparu.
Look, I know everyone knows that women aren't funny, but you're really supposed to get the jokes.
I get them sometimes.
I love that was your defense. It wasn't even like, look, no, women can be funny. There was I think Amazon did a show with Jimmy Carr where he recently posted about it. I need to watch it because I think it's gonna be cringe as hell. But it's a load of comedians trapped in a room and they can't escape until they make somebody laugh, and you're not supposed to laugh, otherwise you get ejected out. And so it's like the last person to laugh wins, and I'm like, 60%, well, at least half of these people, if not 60%, are women. And I know all these comedians because they're all British comedians. Only 2 of these people are funny. It's gonna be the most pathetic TV show in the history of the universe. Jimmy Carr should have been in there himself. At least he's funny.
Agreed.
Jimmy Carr told the joke that I can't repeat.
Yes.
Can I repeat it?
We can't say it on YouTube.
I can only type it in the private chat. This is a
type
joke
it in
that
the
I
private
very
chat.
rarely even type to people because it's that bad.
Oh, wow. Now I really want to know.
It's really bad.
Worse than uncles in your pants.
Oh yeah, I said that on stream. No, this is like say it live and get arrested by the British police level of bad.
Oh, okay.
Mike must know the joke you're talking about.
This is like legitimate hate crime.
I think he waited to put it in the group chat before.
No.
Or a different one. It was a Jimmy Carr
Wicked.
joke for sure.
Wicked, there's no way I would have ever told you this joke.
Oh, okay. Lexicon Hellhound for 20. Hey. Oh. It's the
I can be offensive. I don't think Wicked's ever offended anyone in her life.
I've been called a sexist by female, so you know.
Well,
That's
by
kind of-
just
that's based, though.
association.
Yeah.
Like, well,
It just means you're not a lunatic.
like I streamed Assassin's Creed and put hashtag stop Asian hate, and I just got some hate messages from that. And I'm like, well, that was just a title to be catchy.
I mean, to be fair, that's why they chose him as a protagonist.
They just
Like,
think
they-
I used it just to be sassy at the game. Anyways.
Well, I mean, you did, but the reason
yeah.
Ubisoft chose him as a protagonist is because he slaughters tons of Japanese people. Like, the only explanation for that game is that Ubisoft hates Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they destroyed shrines. They did reverse that in the end.
Well, they patched it in like a day one patch, but they've had all this development to do it, and they only did it on release. They didn't even do it before it went gold. and
Because
that's been around for
Parliament
ages.
complained about it.
Yes.
Lexicon, you're in the
Or-
Dispa queue. Please hold.
Although Parliament literally called them Ubisoft and all, and I'm like, Ubisoft and all is the best name for Ubisoft I've ever heard. Everything sounds better in Japanese.
Okay, but you have to do it in a gruff voice.
Ubisoft
and all.
And like, if you play Marvel Rivals, play it in Japanese, and then play Groot, and it's like, I am Groot! And like, yes, I am. It's like,
You just get pumped
It's
up.
it's like amazing. It's like the deepest voice you've ever heard. I am Groot!
It just sounds so much better in the deep voice, though. Truly.
I want to hear it. Thank you, Lexicon, for the
I
20.
can find the clip.
Okay, I'll get it out while he's looking for the clip. You got a minute. It's
Yep.
it's the reverse. The dumb are promoted and the smart workers are ordered to do stupid stuff.
It's the reverse. The dumb people
Oh,
promoted,
the
smart workers
managers?
are ordered to
Yeah,
I could see that in
it
certain
depends. Yeah, in certain
industries.
careers.
It-
Yeah.
smart doesn't mean competent, which is probably where we're disagreeing. You can be incredibly competent in your job to the point where you don't get promoted. And there's always going to be exceptions, but overall, you will find like the smarter people probably won't be in the base because there was a thing to trying to get them higher in the first place. They didn't even hit that. I do agree with you though. The managers are. I'm not sure if I ever met a manager I respected. No, there was one.
What about Raider? You're gonna make him upset again. He's gonna yell at you.
I've never worked for Raider. I'm on about my personal.
Like work in work. Okay.
I've known more than my manager every time except one, and he was just really good at knowing what to say to people, and so he was very charismatic. He could make anyone his friend. He would know exactly what to say to make you like him. I don't know if that makes him good at his job, but it definitely makes him very promotable. And you couldn't dislike the bloke.
As long as you weren't a suck up to people, I can respect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one management style that really bothered me was when they tried to make everyone happy. You're like, you cannot do that.
No, you have to actually
Very
be
feminine,
tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
The whether they like it or not, the working world is very masculine because it only cares about competency. It's very hierarchical. It cares about what you do, not what you say. It doesn't care whether you sugarcoat anything. It just cares about your actions. That's the way business works best. The more you get into the whole, we can't offend anyone. Everyone's got to be nice to each other. We've got to live in hope and just have wine on tap for each other. That's what makes business.
I love wine on tap. What?
Did you ever see the like a day in my life as a Twitter employee?
Oh my god,
video?
that was insane.
Had wine on tap.
Oh.
That was insane.
Ariel, thank you for the 5. I demand a photo of Disparu in a full Tom Baker Talons of Wang Chang outfit. Did I say that right? I think so.
I don't know.
Doctor Who, but I don't know what talons of.
Bulma Blabs for $1.99. Disparu.
Oh, it looks like it looks like the Sherlock
$1.99
outfit. It's basically just the Sherlock outfit. I've googled it.
Wait, imagine for Saucy that we had like wine on tap or Truly's on tap. I'm sure Disper would just love
Truly's
that.
are disgusting. this is.
You'd rather have the wine.
This is the. Oh, I've put it in the wrong browser. Hang on.
Disparu, come on, get it together.
I was googling things in Brave rather than Chrome.
There's no.
Brave is better than Chrome. Yeah, this is it. It's basically the Sherlock Holmes outfit. It has the hat.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that.
I can see Disparu in that.
I was despite what Tennant's done and the fact that he's a raving lunatic, I still like his Doctor Who outfit with the big trench coat and stuff. I think that's cool. And his hair. Cool. He always had great hair.
It's called a deer stalker. Is that what it's called? Oh, yeah, that does have Disparu all over it. Oh, interesting. Okay, super chats, and then we'll move on. Lexicon Halhan, thank you for another 5. The little pocket and jeans front pocket is for your pocket.
I was googling something before that. I was like,
oh yeah,
got the little pocket in your own just for Q.
Well, I don't know what we were talking about before now, so now I can't Google what I was searching before.
It's okay. It'll come back to you.
It won't because I have no idea what I was talking about.
The chat might remember. Now we're on about pocket watches. Jason Webster for 5. I'm trying to catch up.
It's my short term, not my long term memory I have problems with.
I have my grandfather's solid gold pocket watch, which was given to him upon retirement in 1963. Well, I bet you that's
now you'll
nice.
get like a Starbucks voucher.
Yeah, here's a gift card.
You can pass that down to your kids.
Ian. Is that a bad word?
A soul
Mike?
hole?
No. You both said 2 different words.
Sorry, I didn't know what you were referring to.
Yusuke?
Yasuke.
Yasuke. Okay, see, I don't know how to
No, that is just the guy's name.
That's the name. Yeah.
Oh, from Assassin's Creed. Gotcha. Okay. Tell Epic Mike I have
know
this
what
full pull
I know
now.
what I was googling.
What? Oh, there's another Maza Cartman for $4.99. What does a Japanese man call? How do you say it again? I already forgot.
Yasuke.
Yasuke. Yasuke.
Oh, Yasuke.
Yasuke. Okay, without a girlfriend.
I'm sorry, I'm not African. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
No, it's Japanese.
He's
I
African.
don't know what that.
No, but the name is Japanese.
I'm not gonna say that. I feel like that.
Oh,
might
he had to
come out
steal that
bad.
from their culture as well, did he?
Thank you.
I have found the clip.
He found
oh,
it.
no, it's in the wrong browser. Hang on.
Again, Desperate.
Yeah, because I keep it's where I was googling things.
Sorry,
And then
Ian. He remembered.
Whenever you start going for something, it's like, I want to show your DMs on screen. It's like, could you not, please, Twitter? So this is the Rivals game. What happens if I can't full screen it? I can. If you put it to Japanese and you play Groot. Oh, that's really quiet.
That wall does look pretty dope.
彼らがミッションエリアを確保するのを阻止して。
Yes! Oh my god, it sounds so masculine.
Oria Groto! And it gets better, right? And then when he ults, it's amazing. Oria Groto!
This is sick! Oh my god! Groot hold on!
さあ、ショーの始まりよ。
Oria Groto! It's so amazing.
It pumps. This rig is pumped up.
No, but just like if it, I was watching the Parliament whatever meeting, I don't know what it was called, but in Japan about Ubisoft, and just every person that talked just had like Japanese just sounds so good, especially in that male tone that they have, and even the girls when they speak Japanese, it's so cute.
Well, this is because they go extra high. So they'd be like, Ubisoft Grotono. Then they're like, Ubisoft Grotono. It's like entirely different things.
Oh my god.
It's the opposite of German, because German has just, I'm going to punch you in the face. Every single, there's just like all the same. Even I love you, it's like, Ich liebe dich. It's like, oh, stay away.
It's definitely a more like intentional, I guess, would be the word.
Well, everything sounds aggressive. You could say, I'm not going to punch you in the face in German. It's going to sound like they're going to punch you in the face. Whereas in Japan, they have the kind of cutesy version of it, where everything's sort of a higher pitch and sort of nice and innocent. And then you have the men going, you be soft and all. It's like, okay, you are going to destroy them, and I believe it.
Black Cane for 2. Look up how to look up was it Chesapeake? Is that how you pronounce it? Chesapeake oyster catcher's logo. My gosh, I can't say that word.
I have no idea.
Chesapeake.
I've never heard of Chesapeake. Look, it's a oh, the minor league baseball team. Oh.
Why are you
I'm
making that
assuming
noise?
that's what you mean. Okay.
What?
Oh, again, it's the wrong. Hang on.
I didn't find it.
Okay. So this is what Google showed first, and I'm going to show you what I saw first, and then what I realized. So this is what I saw first. You're like, I don't know what you mean, and then you see this, and then you read that. Minor league baseball team unveils a little too much with the alternate identity, and oh.
I'm like,
yeah, this
wow.
is Rebel Moon transportation right there.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go, chat. Now you know.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf for 5.
It's the same in what is it? Split Faction. In Split Faction,
it's a vagina in the.
Yeah, they cut a hole in the universe, and you're like, I know what that is.
She said it's a vagina. It's like the
vagina.
It reminds me of Kindergarten Cop when the kid's like, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. can't say that these days. We get upset. Lone Wolf for 5. Disparu, you need to update your MySpace and GeoCities pages. Also get the jokes off.
It was a really old joke.
He's
Whatever
like,
what I told back in the day. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, what was it was Davidson. Somebody Davidson is where
Pete
that joke came
Davidson?
from.
Oh, probably not
he's,
Pete.
No, he's a
Oh,
British
old
comic.
joke.
Never
mind.
You probably won't know him.
Probably
But
not.
he used to do sort of Saturday night television when I was a kid. Something Davidson. And he it was one of his old jokes, so it went way back in time. You are probably going back to the 70s or 80s with that joke.
Oh. Nate, thank you for the 5. Hail all. Agree about Harry Disparu. Watched him on Piers Morgan. Couldn't stand him during election season. Such an insufferable little.
Oh, he's an absolute twat. Yeah.
Yeah, karma. Can you read this?
Jim
Disparu?
Davidson is the one.
I'm pretty sure, Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. I'm pretty sure this was for you.
Oh my God.
Ian and so forth for £50. I'm probably going to have to maximize this to read it properly. There was a show I watched the show and they said something in the show and it was funny when I was watching in the show and Trement.
It reminds me of the story one.
It's spelled incorrectly. You could have at least typed it correctly. And I reminds me of the story when ... Look, I understand that the IQ gap between England and Scotland is pretty massive.
It is right.
Oh,
it reminds me of the story when.
Oh, and it reminds me. Okay, I was like, and it reminds me. It's very difficult when the Scottish people can't even work out how to put spaces in between words. The IQ gap is massive because partly genetics, because you were born in Hill somewhere with no sun. We understand.
Wow.
But also largely just because of the sheer alcohol consumption put the English to shame, and we're renowned for binge drinking. So you have killed a lot of brain cells in your time. I get it. I will slow down for the low IQ Scottish people in the audience.
Well, speaking of low IQ,
don't worry. I mean, I'm sure at
Creed.
some point you'll manage to get your independence.
So this is hold on. The Assassin's Creed Shadows immersive mode uses both Japanese and Portuguese. Which mode are you playing in?
I'm playing in Japanese only.
You buy soft or no?
You couldn't change between immersive mode and other languages, so I kind of wanted the option to, if I so wanted to, listen to the English. But I've heard the English, and it's it sounds horrid.
It's like a special needs person with a speech impediment.
Okay, well here we go. Immersive mode in English.
We need a plan. 父上, what do we do?
二部の情報をお供します。
私も共に。
ならぬ。頼みがある。I will get you to me Budo Castle.
I'm coming with you.
No. I need you elsewhere.
上様はその者も共に参れと仰せじゃ。Lord Nobunaga commands that the black man join you.
ですが、こやつはただの下僕にございます。
But he is my sword bearer. A slave.
この黒きにはモノノフの気性があるようだ。そなたの窮地を察すや否や、部屋のあらゆる危険に目を走らせおったぞ。
Your black man has the instincts of a warrior. As he realized the danger you are in, his eyes found every threat in the room.
I don't have a problem with the last guy in English. He seemed to be doing a decent job of mixing the language with the accent. One guy was just doing a random accent from the other side of the world. But I think the worst one was the woman who was... I'm going to have my tongue over here somewhere and just talk like this all the time. Or,
I don't like
Japanese.
I don't like the protagonist's voice for the female. It just sounds so jarring.
Here's one where the caption says that it sounds like text to speech. So this one must be pretty bad. I don't remember if I listened to this one.
I don't think it's text to speech. I think she's just crap.
Go quiet.
Did
you hear that?
It's like her tongue is constantly in this part of her mouth.
Hold on.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm.
It just sounds so
Mushrooms can
Sounds so
stiff.
It's not text to speech. It is someone go, resentment can go quietly without much warning after a storm. She's just got a speech impediment. Like, her tongue is in the wrong place in her mouth. Or it's, like, too big for her mouth. Like, this is someone who's, like...
Sounds awful.
Actually disabled.
and too. Shiitake?
Shiitake? Oh, God. What is the level of the voice acting these days? It's really sad if this is, like, their top tier.
No, this isn't. This is inclusive. Inclusion means the destruction of standards because you have to include everybody. Well, everybody shouldn't be a voice actor because some people can't talk.
Like, what happened to voice actors that can do multiple voices? I think that would end up being cheaper than hiring a bunch of different people.
You wouldn't include many people, though, would you? You'd only include the best people. You'd be exclusive then.
Yeah, but you'd save so much money.
You need to include people that can't be voice actors because they don't have the talent.
I could be a voice actor at this rate. I might actually be okay-ish.
Judging by that, we could all be voice actors.
We guys, we all can be voice actors as long as you're not white.
We just need to put out into the world that we want to
Can't
be voice
do it.
actors, and then it will echo back to us.
Here, one more clip. This is of the actual gameplay, I think.
Oh
and then
my
actually,
God.
I can tell us
is
about it because she
amazing.
actually played it.
This is ridiculous.
Speed run. How is this not an assault on Japanese culture?
Yeah.
Well, you're literally humiliating them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's really sad that this is a AAA game. Now, I get it. Sometimes at the beginning, there's a lot of things that may need to be patched. This is a lot of things that need to be patched. Like I have a clip here of someone playing here. This is just atrocious.
Ubisoft spent a lot of time and money on this game. They don't get the excuse of, oh, we just didn't notice it.
Yeah. So
they also delayed the game. Like, this is the best it's ever been. Imagine what it would have been like before.
Oh my God, horrible.
Dude, just what the hell?
Wait, he
Dude,
respawned?
walking
He's got no
around with a
head.
head.
No head.
What the hell?
Headless horseman.
Okay, that's a first. This guy don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
What is going on?
He's like a chicken.
I've also seen, I think it was Savvy that posted it. There was a time before the release where they were really proud of cutting bamboo. And they were like, look at what we can do, right? You can cut bamboo and we'll show you the exact cuts across the bamboo fence of
Oh
where
my
you
God,
cut.
and it totally misses what it cuts too.
Well, no, what Savvy did was she was holding a wooden stick and she could do the same thing on all the bamboo. I said, my husband is stunned. Like, he can't stop laughing the fact that I can cut bamboo with this stick. And it makes jagged edges. So it doesn't even cut in a straight line as you would swipe.
You know
it
what?
goes up and down.
It's because she's a girl boss, okay? She's got powers.
That's true.
Obviously.
Sorry. I forgot the power of fallopian tubes. That was my
It's the power of the pussy, okay? Get it right.
The power of the fallopian tubes. Right? I can make a gash, but I can never have fallopian tube.
Here we go with that talk again. He's gonna talk about not being able to breastfeed now. Again.
I've tried. It just can't.
Sorry, I brought it up again. I know you're heartbroken over it. I'm sorry. I won't bring it up again.
I just can't lactate, no matter how hard I try. I've concentrated really hard. Nothing happens.
You know what? You could just lactate from a different part of you, okay?
Yes, I can lactate from my nose.
Especially in the UK because it's cold there.
What's that got to do with anything?
Because when it's cold, you can get like a runny nose. A little bit. I don't know. You never heard of that? Like when it's cold and your nose is cold and it might, not that you like have a, never mind.
If anything, wouldn't that freeze it? I've never heard of that at all. Is this just something that Floridians have? They're like, oh my God, I'm so used to the heat. When it gets cold.
No,
my
it used to
nose
happen
falls
to me
off.
when I lived in New York. Not like a
To be
full
fair,
like
though,
runny
you're
nose,
surra-
but just like
you're in New York, surrounded by people from New York. The stench alone would make your nose run.
Well, no, I didn't live in New York City. I lived in upstate. It's way better. Anyways,
Upstate for
Assassin's
New
Creed.
York is like we don't piss on each other's faces.
It's true, we don't.
It's like look at I
Consent.
get YouTube videos. It's like look at my flat that I've got in New York for $40 million. I'm like, wow, you live in New York.
So when I and sent this in the group chat, this is the Steam charts, I guess, for Assassin's Creed, like the number of players playing right now. It kind of dropped a lot. What was that, like 57 or something like that? I don't know if you guys looked when I sent it.
I don't think you can go for because if you scroll back so we can see the bottom of the graph,
Right here?
the days,
Okay.
yeah, that is per day, and it's still rising per day.
Okay.
So you had the 22nd, and then the 23rd it increased. Now this is a weekend. You would expect more people to be on a weekend, so this will probably be its peak.
Absolutely.
But you will have today and tomorrow, and then by the time of Monday, we'll probably see where it peaks.
Yeah.
I feel like this weekend is going to be up because, I mean, people do like the Assassin's Creed game, so they're going to check it out. Or people that want to see how ridiculous it is.
Especially the diehard fans. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so I've put 3 hours into the game. It's visually, it's not the best game. Like, I'd say Split Fiction has better visuals than Assassin's Creed by far. I am interested enough to play it again. I didn't care for Yasuke's story at the beginning. Naoi's is a bit better, but also there's just a lot of cutscenes, so I feel like it's more of a movie at this point for me. And
What Drinker said.
And what would be interesting is I have never played any Assassin's Creed game. So if I went and jumped to Black Flag or just any of them, would I think it's better or worse? I'm not sure.
I
Black
think you'll
Flag
think
was
Black Flag
really
is
good.
Yeah, Black Flag is good. I haven't finished it yet. I'm actually going to finish it soon. I'm about halfway through, I think.
I played 1, 2, I think I played 3, and Black Flag. And I didn't I thought 2 was the best, but I really liked Black Flag because it was original enough that I could get back into the series without being repetitive. And since then, nothing's really interested me. And it's gone further and further away from the I want to be a stealthy assassin on rooftops, diving down, killing someone, and parkouring away into the universe.
And that's the crazy
without
part, because
fighting
you have the ninja-esque part of being in Japan, and that's not something I've seen so far. I mean, you run around in grass, but that
my issue is, and it was the same thing I had with the last one, which was about like Norse gods and stuff. It was Assassin's Creed Viking, something like that. They're now setting them in flat areas. But that's not what Assassin's Creed is. It's in cities built up diving off rooftops. Because to parkour, you need a city environment. You can't set it in Japan, where the houses are 1 story, really far apart, rice fields all over the place. How are you supposed to parkour on that? It doesn't even make sense. So they had to move away from things.
The origins of what Assassin's Creed was.
Yeah. I liked the built-up city environment where you had to watch somebody go about their daily life, plan where you would assassinate them, and then enact it and get out without being caught. That was what was cool for me, not I can take on 500 people in a fight.
No, thank you.
So next topic I want to briefly talk about. I don't think anybody Disbrew has made this kind of clear since like the videos he's done on it are like people don't seem to care. You said about Daredevil. We're gonna talk a little bit about episode 4, just a quick little letting you guys know in case someone you care and you don't want spoilers. Just so
I mean,
my thoughts on it.
By the time we do this episode, I think it released on like Tuesday or Wednesday. There's a lot of time to
But
watch it
still, I mean, I sailed the high seas for it. I'm just gonna give my quick thoughts on it, and I'll let Disbrew go off because I know he's got a lot to say. So I didn't mind the Frank Castle and Matt seeing this right here. I love the Punisher, but what they're doing to the Punisher in this series is making me so mad. It's mirroring how they feel about it in real life, right? Like if you guys don't know, what they're doing is the dirty cops in this show are rocking the Punisher logo. They're even putting it on their bullets, and it's ridiculous. And Frank's kind of like, well, what does that got to do with me? Because Matt finds a bullet that kills one of his clients, and it's got the logo on it. So he goes, finds Frank. This scene was well done. I do think that they're leaning now. It's totally okay. I think that Matt's emotional over Foggy and all that, but they're really leaning into Matt just being super emotional. And I want the Netflix Daredevil, where Matt was, of course he showed some emotion, but he was manly, he was tough, he got things done, he did what he had to do, but in this one, not so much. So yes, I like their scene together, but the scene with this guy here, I don't even remember his name. He ends up being one of his clients. He steals a bunch of like peanut brittle or something, or like I don't know,
Pickle fackle or something like that.
Yeah, some fiddle faddle, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, fiddle faddle. It's like caramel popcorn. And he gets arrested, and he's, had priors, whatever. And Matt gets him down to like a week or something like that.
From 30 days. He had 20 infractions beforehand. And, typically when you do something bad, the time that you get punished with should be increased because you clearly didn't learn from your mistakes previously. But Matt does a thing where he goes and talks to somebody from the DA and flirts with them and brings it down to 10 days, which is impressive. Okay. I think it's very impressive.
It is. Yeah. So anyways, and he's like, no, because now, like when I had to spend time in jail and I'm not going to get my food stamps and all this stuff, he goes off, and I'm like, and then Matt was like, you know what? You're right. It's not fair. It's like, but he stole.
No,
I get it. Times can be tough, but it's like, he's gotten arrested for doing illegal things. That's what happens.
How he phrased it was, sometimes I just wanted to have something good, something tasty.
Oh, a good dessert that's not from the dumpster. You're right. Yeah.
That's what Rachel Zegler wanted with an apple pie.
Yeah, they pay more to put me in jail than to feed me. And I was just, that scene just threw me off.
It did.
It
seemed like it didn't need to be. It was like the Falcon show where he's, the cops are like, who are you? And it's like, oh, please. If he existed in the real world, the cops would freaking know. He's one of the damn Avengers. Like, come on. But no, because he's black. The cops are like, who are you? Like, that scene was so stupid. This was one of those scenes that was just inserted for what?
It's like, their ideology. They don't think that criminals should be punished. They don't think it's the criminal's fault. They think that the environment that they're in makes them criminals because they believe everyone's the same. So no one's better than anyone else, superior to anyone else. We're all the same. So the only reason why you're not a criminal and they are is because their environment is different. And if you put them in a different environment, if you gave them the stuff, they wouldn't need to be criminals because they're the same as you. They had a nicer upbringing, nicer family. They wouldn't be criminals either. I'm like, no, some people are just evil.
Yeah.
And they should suffer for it.
Yeah, there's different levels, yes, right? Like, he shouldn't be punished the way, like, a murderer should be punished, right? But you still committed a crime.
No, he had, like, 30 crimes. Like, this guy should have been in prison for, like, long before this. Like, and Daredevil should know it, right? I don't know anything about the comics of Daredevil.
As a lawyer, he really should know this.
But, I don't know anything about the Daredevil comics. But just from a logical perspective, if you're a lawyer who then becomes a superhero to stop crime, you obviously don't think that the legal system works. Because otherwise, why would you need to be a superhero? Because the legal system already sorts stuff out. So you're like, the legal system can handle these people, the light crime, the nicer people where it might sort them out. But there's going to be a load of people that just commit crime anyway. And those people have to face me. And the fact that I can scare the really bad people and the law can deal with the lighter people that only need a slap on the wrist is how the entire system works. Like, some people need more punishment than others, and you obviously don't think the law does enough. He agrees with him. And that's like, he was like, yeah, you're right, actually.
So, but what about the person he just stole from? What about him? Like, or her, their owner. Store. Yeah. They worked hard to put this stuff on the shelves. Do they just give that stuff away?
Well, according to the criminal scum, he says, what is it? It cost me 5 times as much to put me in prison as it does just to give me the thing that I stole. And I'm like,
just
yes.
Give me the food for free.
Well, that tells you how much it matters that you are punished for your crimes. The fact that we are willing to spend 5 times the amount to punish you rather than reward you for your evil deeds. And in fact, I would do worse. I'd like, you've done 30 crimes, just stay in prison. Like, it is more important that you are not allowed into society than it is that society has to suffer your presence. And that's what the show should be saying. That's what the show should be supporting. But instead, you have Daredevil supporting evil in society and agreeing with it.
Yeah.
And this guy's entire argument
he's
is...
a lawyer. Like, what's...
This guy's entire argument is, don't you understand how inconsiderate it is that I have to go to extra effort to get my benefits back and leech off society after you put me in prison? It's so much. I have to do so much work.
That makes it even more annoying with Matt. Like, yes, okay, he's a lawyer, but he is preaching so much to let the system handle it that he believes in the system. He puts down the Daredevil, Matt, like, you know, now being Daredevil, but then like, oh, criminals should be punished, but only some criminals. Like, is that what he's trying to say? It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's the writers. It's definitely not
the
him.
writers. Oh, I know. Yes. It's the writers. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're messing up another character. And it was nice to see Frank Castle, right? And that scene was fine. It wasn't great because, again, I'm not comparing this to our modern Marvel. Compared to modern Marvel, this is good. But compared to what we used to get with the Netflix show, the original, well, compared to modern Marvel, if you compare it to the crap, I'm not saying, I wouldn't say
no,
good,
I don't.
But like,
I don't think this is good even compared to modern Marvel. I think this has. I like the first fight. I like the last 2 minutes or whatever it was of the second episode, and I like those last 60 seconds of this one. I don't think that makes it better than any of the other Marvel series.
I think it's, I just think like, and then with that point being made, comparing it to how great the Netflix series was, it's like, this is absolute trash.
But that's what it is. The reason we like the Frank Castle scene so much is what came beforehand. Well, and John Bernthal and how he portrayed that character. All the buildup of who Frank is and his character, you're just like, he's kind of like Daredevil. He has that justice. He wants to dispense it, but of course it's a little bit different than how Daredevil does it. And you're like, oh, hell yeah, you do it for your family. These guys are bad. Daredevil will do it a little differently, but I think in the end, we are like, okay, that feels like you go girl type of moment, or I guess you go guy.
Yeah, I mean, and Dispar's right. There was a couple moments that were okay in this. Like, I thought, you know, Foggy dying made me so mad. Good. Obviously, that was so dumb.
News was great.
But the actual scene, like where Matt could hear Foggy's heart slowing while he's fighting, that I thought was pretty well done. But I'm still mad that they got rid of Foggy. Like the chemistry between those three in the original series, everyone loved it. And let's just get rid of that and bring in the, you know, the cop and then the Hispanic girl or whatever. I don't know.
Foggy dying didn't even make sense in the original. Look, I know everyone says it's not attached to the Netflix series. It's on an entirely different series. It's got a different name. It started at season 1. It's nothing related to the Netflix thing. The only thing they bring up stuff from previous series, and like there was one in this. It was like, could he be a Skrull? No. That's the only reference you get. Then you had one for Echo. Then you had one for this. Then the Netflix is like, they want to take all those series and claim to be attached to it while doing nothing about them. So this is its own series with its own characters.
Yeah, I'm still going to compare it though.
You would not think it was the same series.
Yeah,
it's only the actors which they've tried to drag nostalgia through with. And I
not very well.
This isn't Charlie Cox's fault. He's a great actor.
No, I think he's a great. Yeah,
but the problem is quite simply the lack of masculinity and the fact that he has family morality throughout the entire series. So the last 60 seconds are good because you're like, well, you've got a villain now, and now you've got Fisk going, I'm actually going to punish people. And then you've got another guy who's being evil and stuff. And
don't get me started on Fisk.
The thing about Charlie Cox and the Punisher in that scene is it's good because you have the Punisher going, these people deserve punishment. These people deserve vengeance. These people deserve justice. And you finally have some masculinity in the episode for once.
Yeah, that's why it was a good scene.
Charlie Cox isn't good in that scene. The Punisher is.
He cries.
It's simply the masculine justice being in that's what the superheroes need because it's them punishing evil. And you can't I hate one of the reasons I don't like the scene, I only like the Punisher, is because in that Daredevil punches him and then apologizes. Like, no. Stand by your actions.
I did like
Be
Frank's
a man, for God's sake.
I liked Frank's response to that because it kind of was that. Like, he was like, no, that's what I want to see. Like,
yes.
All right, there you are. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing wrong with showing a bit of emotion, but they're having Matt show just too much. I get it. You lost your best friend. That sucks. Now get.
Well, it's a pissing woman. That's the problem with him. Like, he should punch. That is how a man would deal with problems. Men deal with things through aggression and violence. And that is what men deal with, like anger.
Yeah.
These are all normal emotions for a man, and they restrain them and only dish them out when they're necessary. So if you thought it wasn't necessary, fair enough, you can apologize.
Yeah.
But don't apologize for punching someone. That might be that. If you're Daredevil, punching someone is a necessary part of being Daredevil.
Yeah. Exactly. And Frank definitely does carry the scene. I'm not going to hold high hopes for the Punisher series. I love John Barenthal. He's fabulous, in my opinion, as Frank Castle. He crushed the role. I think same thing as Charlie Cox. Like they're great actors, so they do what they can with what they're given, but they're not given great. It's not great. So, but I do like, you know, when he's like, I hear my little boy telling me like, get him, daddy, get him. Like, you know, it shows like, you know, he's like, these people need to pay. So they still at least have that. But I hate so much what they've done with the Punisher logo that it's like, oh, it's, you know, dirty cops are rocking it now because of the, you know, cops in the real world.
Yeah, I thought it was more of a radicalization of them wanting to do more, but I mean, we haven't fully fleshed out that story yet, I suppose.
Yeah, well, they're making it look like it's, you know, the dirty cops that are doing it. So that's what annoys me with it.
This scene should have been done like two coiled vipers, not quite sure, like trying not to piss the other one. So the Punisher is like, I'll just punch you in the face and go in for a fight. And he should have been like, I know you're dangerous. I don't want to piss you off. I don't want to set you off. And so he should have been like wary, but also, if you come at me, I'm going to defend myself. And instead, he'd lost his temper because the other guy is goading him because he wants Daredevil to come out, and then he apologizes. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry for offending you. It was the entire... It doesn't feel like it was written by men, is the problem with that scene.
Probably wasn't.
And what I would have preferred Fisk's story to be is, I kind of wish he had... Because we saw in Echo, and this is one of the issues with not tying it to the series, that he was fixed. That, oh, well, we took away his childhood trauma and made him good. Well, okay. Well, let's see where that goes. What happens if you make a criminal underboss now want to do good for the world? Because he only knows crime and how to be a criminal boss, so you could have him in a leadership position as a mayor where he's trying to help the city, but he only knows how to do crime. And so he sets up a criminal empire that helps people, but they help people through, like, violence, aggression, totalitarian control. That would have been an interesting thing to, like, play with as an idea, because then you've got Daredevil that wants to stop crime, but wants to do good, and a guy who wants to do good, but only knows how to do it by crime. And so they both have the same goal, but different methods, and that puts them in contrast. And instead, it just looks like Fisk wants to do a criminal empire.
Okay,
Daredevil's
it's two disjointed stories.
So I know a little bit about the comics. I've done a little bit of, you know, looking into it. I would really like to actually get the Daredevil comics and read through them, but Kingpin is supposed to be one of the most terrifying, ruthless villains in, at least in that corner of Marvel, we'll say, right? Like Spider-Man, Daredevil. He's like, I'm gonna fill a hole. Good job, Fisk. Like, what? I don't, and he's so like wrapped up in her, which in
this is
I get
the worst
it. I get
scene
that
of the
it's
series
not.
as well.
I get that it's supposed to be a different show, but I'm gonna constantly compare this to the Netflix show. She was like his ride or die. Okay, she would ride for him in the other show, and now she's just like, well, you left.
She's
like, you left, and I'm like mad at you, and we got to go to therapy. Like, what is Kingpin doing in therapy?
I'm such a better businesswoman than you are. It's like, oh.
That too. It's so it gets on my nerves because I actually like. I mean, it was twisted, but I liked their relationship because it was like he did bad things and she still stood by him. That's what I mean by she was ride or die. Like, she's like, you're my man.
She knew what he was doing,
and she knew. Sure. But now it's like, it's just like, you know, well, you left me alone and I'm upset. And then the therapist pulling her aside, like, do you feel safe in your marriage?
Oh no, it got worse way before that. No, the worst bit is when she was like, I need you to listen to her feelings about why she was a cheating slag and slept with somebody else. And she went, well, actually, it was my childhood, and I just didn't feel like you gave me everything. It was the classic thing of, if he cheats, it's just because he's a twat. And if she cheats, it's because you're not emotionally giving her what she wants. Once again, it didn't seem like it was a scene written by... Now, you can understand it not being written by a man when it's a woman doing the therapy, because how on earth is she even supposed to comprehend what's going on? Like, she's not equipped for doing marriage counseling as a woman in the first place. Like, she'll never understand his point of view. She will always take her side. She will always be like, no, it's about her. Her feelings are irrelevant. Her actions matter. She should be held accountable for her actions. That's what matters. And so they were trying to come up with excuses for why she was doing this, and she was, oh, it's not my fault. He vanished, and then what else? I just like tripped and fell on this other guy. It's not. I can't be. You can't blame me for doing it in the first place and cheating.
So I do think that I could be on board with like the Fisk storyline of him trying to do what he wants through being good and then eventually falling back into the evil part. I just don't like this therapy. Like
this is nonsense.
And Captain
this
Saucy
part is very weird to me.
Brings up a good point. Sopranos did it first. It made sense. Tony Soprano being in therapy, like it's different. But with this, it's just like it's couples therapy. With Tony, without super getting into it, it was like that was the one person that he could talk to and not be, kind of judged, I guess. But he was still ruthless, though. Tony Soprano was still scary. Right now, Kingpin isn't very scary.
No, this does make sense from a couples therapy point of view. Couples therapy is like this, but therapy isn't built for men in the first place. It's built around like the feminine directive. It's all about your feelings. Because at one point he goes, I don't want to talk about this. He's like, I don't want to talk about this. I want it to be over with. I want to move faster. And she's like, no, you need to move into it. You need to embrace it. And that is a very feminine perspective. Men want to compartmentalize stuff and move past it. I mean, like, I want to feel all the emotions. And so she is making him do a feminine action in the scene.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Fisk shouldn't do that. And that's the problem with the scene. It's not that couples therapy, like all couples therapy is awful. Therapy as a whole isn't set up for men. It's set up to basically affirm women in the first place. Therapy as a whole is pointless for men in the first place. If you want men, you make them feel in control of their lives. You empower them. You actually give them six packs and like put them in control of their own environment. You don't care about you don't talk about their feelings all the time, make them relive stuff. It's not what men do. So it's realistic in that sense. What the problem is, his reaction. But you also have to contrast that with the end of the thing where that's Fisk. That's how a man would deal with things. You've cheated on me. Okay, now he's in a cage and I'm torturing it. That made sense. I think the problem is that we should know why he's doing this because... And maybe this isn't even a problem with the storytelling. It's a problem with the current environment. That you need to know the environment you're building this episode in, and build for it. So if people are always unsure what you're doing, especially if you're writing other really effeminate characters, you have to tell the audience and make sure they know that you're not going down the same path everyone else is. And that's what this feels like. That you're humiliating Fisk.
Well, the episode is also very disjointed because I feel like there's just so many like Franken edits that it feels like there's so many different writers in this pot that it doesn't flow very well. Like it's kind of jarring jumping between scenes.
Yeah, and this we want Kingpin. I get it. He's pushing it aside. So I do think by the end of the season we probably will get Kingpin.
I hope so. I mean, we see a glimpse of it.
Will it be a good version?
There are glimpses. There are glimpses
Probably
of
not.
really good shows in this series. So the first 20 minutes, I liked. Some people didn't. I liked the first fight. I liked the fight that Daredevil had with the cops, and I liked the last 60 seconds. It's just all the soap opera drama that you have for the rest of the episode, which feels like a different show.
Arrow did it better. Green Arrow did it better with the CW-ness, at least in the first and second season.
I think that the CW as a whole made better TV series than anything I've seen on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and that's I
agree with
that.
And everything. They were TV shows, so they built around the normal TV thing where everything was self-contained in an episode. There was a certain pace. Yeah, they'd have character drama and stuff, but they were always there to have a fight in every episode and stuff. Something always happened.
The pacing was definitely better.
CW made TV shows. It was set like a TV show would be, whereas this is like an 8-episode film.
And the thing with CW is, even though like CW is known for all like adding too much drama and making things weird, they did have some actual good shows from the start, like Arrow, Flash.
Absolutely.
In the beginning,
They
those
were all
really
good
good.
at the start.
They were good at the start, and then they got too into the, like, we'll say Felicity and Oliver and Arrow. It's like he ends up with Black Canary, first off. So like, why are we investing so much time into Felicity?
Constantly affirming her. She's the best hacker in the universe, we say every single episode.
Yeah. It's a shame.
But that had some really good, like the whole thing between him and Ra's al Ghul and stuff.
Yeah.
That they had some really good series, and it could go really dark. The problem was the more it focused on everyone that wasn't Arrow. And
so it became not the Green Arrow show.
Yeah, because it became more about everybody else, like all the diversity characters.
I hated when they
when he stopped killing people.
White Canary.
When he stopped killing people and it started to go more goody two shoes and stuff, it goes downhill.
Yeah.
It was like Daredevil. The best part of Daredevil is pushing that guy off a roof, and it's like, no, now I can't punch anyone in the face. No, do it. Like he should have taken that guy. The moment that guy started whining at him, as if I want no days. He should have taken him off the roof and thrown him off. That would have been an amazing TV series, but you can't do that anymore.
Ian, don't worry, I'm not skipping super chats, guys. Thank you for the 10 gifted membership.
Yes, queen.
CW or Smallville was WB, wasn't it?
Oh, I think it was. I don't know.
Or UPN or something. It swapped. Yeah, it was before CW, but it was probably the same network. I know it was like UPN or something like that, because Buffy went from WB to UPN after season 5.
After the 5th season, the WB and UPN merged to form the CW.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay, let me catch up on these super chat, guys. Thank you for being patient.
I think the best fact about the CW is it never made a single penny throughout its entire existence.
How much are they in debt?
Money. Well, it got bought out. They went bankrupt.
So they...
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Okay. Gary Thomas, thank you for the 2. Is the car joke about gypsies in World War II?
No, although I do know the one where it's like the male gypsy moth can smell the female gypsy moth from 50 miles away. That joke also works if you remove the word moth.
Wow.
Drew loves Jimmy Carr and coupling. That's like what is in his profile. Like, what is this Drew? Like milk? Jimmy Carr and coupling.
I don't even know if I could. I don't even think I could say the setup, let alone the end.
Just put it in the private chat. Believe in yourself for Canadian 5. Thank you guys for being part of the reason. Saturday nights are so much fun. Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. Quangs for $4.99. Oh, sorry. Sue. Before Russell Brand reformed, he openly said his effeminate mannerisms made him seem non-threatening to women. Then
yes,
bang, pregnant.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's the same with there was a male dancer on a Saturday night TV show. He said all the women thought he was gay because he just danced for a living. And you wouldn't believe the body count. The same with what do they call them? Where they go around on tiptoes. Ballerinas. Male ballerinas.
Tiptoes.
The tiptoes.
That's what it is. You go around on tiptoes.
No, they bang a lot.
Male ballerinas, they all think they're gay, and so they try to fix them. It's like, well...
it's the same thing. Salsa dancers as well. I've heard a lot of stories.
Like, yeah, the male salsa dancers seem like they went into it because they can do it.
A lot of people do get into salsa to try to date people, but I think to get to the level,
it's inherently a sexual dance, so it's not like ballerinas.
You have a lot of emotions in ballet too. I'm just saying.
No, ballerinas is classy, whereas that is just erotic.
As a dancer,
yeah,
you can.
Yeah. Jason Webster, thank you for another 5.
You just have to look at the dancing.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Reply: it's a tie between Extra Girl and Wicked Virtue. Oh, thank you, Jason.
Aw, that's so sweet. What about Disparu?
It's because of their personalities.
Yeah,
thanks.
Shining personalities.
Hey, look, if it's a compliment to Rachel Zegler, then
can we kick
if it's good enough for Hollywood.
Yes, kicked. Lucifer the Doberman for Canadian 5. DEI was the reason my 155 centimeter 45 keg daughter got hired to be backhoe operator. She kept the job for the last 2 years and was able to afford to buy a home.
I don't know what a backhoe operator is, but it sounds Sounds like a Hollywood job.
No, it's,
yes, I operate the
is that a
back hoe,
Canadian
not the
thing?
front hoe.
I've never heard.
You know
of
what
that.
Hollywood's
What is
like?
that?
They need two hoes at the same time.
But it's funny because as a technically minority, I've seen people take advantage of that because of DEI, and it's just the way it is, unfortunately. But
Yeah. Mate, thank you for the 2. Disparu, can you read this?
Ich
Ich
liebe
liebe
dich.
dich.
It
I love
means
you.
I love you. But it's the
Aw.
same way that any German just means Ich liebe dich. It's like it just sounds like you got to punch them in the face. You can't say German without sounding aggressive. It's impossible.
If
This
you
is why I
can
was
find
like, we're
someone
going to
that
take over the
can,
world. It's like, yeah, we should have expected that, really.
the
Um,
language says it all.
Yeah. Mind you, I am Groto. Sounds the same.
for X-ray.
I am not knitting. I am crocheting. I'm crocheting a rope to choke myself with. What? Never
Knit
mind.
one,
I'm joking.
pearl
Just making a
one.
blanket. Thank you for the. Sorry, that one just popped up. I thought I would grab it now. Well, you're doing that. Black Cane for 5. I went to a meeting about my IRA. I don't see how anything the angry ginger has said to do with my retirement, but I agree with him about the English.
Huh? Black Cane, I feel like you're very
I
confusing
don't know
tonight.
what anything about the angry ginger has had to do with my retirement.
Are you talking about
Oh
this brew?
God! Oh no! No, I
He
thought
gets
I
it.
wasn't sure whether I was interpreting it correctly, and I was. No, you have the IRA, which is all, which I believe
Here you go.
is
He's
like
got
an
it.
accounting thing over there, whereas over here it's a terrorist organization.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the Irish. So he's like, look, I don't know what you said about my
yeah.
business, but those English, they can burn. It's like,
I get it now. Okay. Ian, thank you for another
that's what I
50
thought he meant
pounds.
originally, and then it was like it was a bit long-winded. I was like, I'm not sure. That's what it is. No, it was exactly as dark as I thought it was originally.
I want independence. I don't want independence. I want to annoy you for years to come, and my IQ is borderline genius for a Scottish person.
That's true.
For
It's
a
about
Scottish
45.
person.
Yeah.
Got it.
Look, he's only got to outwit the sheep. No, that's the Welsh. I don't even know. Does Scotland even have? I suppose you do have animals. You have like the wild haggis running around the field.
A
No.
haggis? Isn't that just
Yeah,
the stomach?
the wild haggis. Tourists go to Scotland, and the Scottish regale them with stories of the wild haggis roaming the field. They have to dodge the Loch Ness monster. It's the only way it can survive. Never seen a wild haggis roaming the field.
What's a Jesuit? Did I say that right?
Jesuit.
Jesuit. Oh,
I'm gonna say
Jesuit.
it how I did the first time. What's a jet suit need a sword bearer for?
Let's not repeat your misreadings of Super Chat, X-Ray Girl. I still remember the one you did.
The first time I saw
Yeah.
that word.
What about the one beginning with K? I was like, I remember that
Okay,
one.
I know that one was a
That
very
one
big
was
mistake.
rough.
Hey,
Very funny though.
I don't know every bad word out there. Okay, I
know
grew
a
up
lot of
I grew up very
learned one from-
innocent.
I learned one from Top Gear when they said we built a bridge, but then it had a slant on it. I was like, wait, what?
Made, thank you for another 5. This Ruby, like, the problem with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
Yes, that's what to be fair, they'd say the same thing about the English. England would be
It's true.
amazing if we
I'm
could
pretty sure
invade it and
Ian has
take
said
over and
that.
enslave them all. Luckily, the Scottish don't have the IQ to do that. Oh, well, actually, they're way too lazy. Like, can you imagine the English? We met the Scottish and we're like, we're going to build Hadrian's Wall. Oh, are you? You're going to build a wall to keep them out? It's like, yes. How high is it going to be? About 10 foot. Do you think they might be able to climb over it? Nah, they're too lazy for that. They're too pissed. They'll fall over before they can climb off a 10-foot wall.
Jason Webster for another 5. Thank you, Australian 5. I highly recommend K-dramas, Hyperknife, Disney Plus, The Art of
I've not
Negotiation.
actually watched any ones on Disney
They're
Plus.
on Disney
Vicky,
Plus.
Yeah,
and
they
when-
copied Netflix.
When Life Gives You Tangerines on Netflix.
The art.
Huh.
I'll leave it up so Disparu can look them
Yeah,
up. Hold
I'm
on.
typing them all.
I'll wait.
Creation, Win Night. Tangerines. That is. They do have some weird names.
I think it's the translation, probably.
Well, the Japanese anime will translate to something like, I am a magician and I'm the only human in the Demon Kingdom that will then take over the world and save everyone from the awful tangerines. And you're like, Not really what you intended to name them. It's like, no,
The
that is the name of the series.
tangerine.
I was the first magician in the Demon Kingdom that came about from Earth. And I'm like, whoa.
All right, he's got it. Thank you, Jason. Market reality for 10. 1, he got 30 days reduced to a week. That was pretty impressive. Crime defense attorneys are. Also, Fisk
and he wasn't impressed.
I know. Also, because he wanted his popcorn and his food stamps. Also,
like, do you realize if I go to prison for a week, the amount of effort I will have to go to demand that I can leech more of the state? Like, you are really inconsiderate putting me in prison for my crime.
Also, Fisk has already been cucked twice by Disney. Hawkeye and Echo. This new season is now trash. Yeah, it's true.
I never watched
his
Hawkeye,
fight with Kate, and it was weird. Like, people wanted Hawkeye against Fisk, but we didn't get that.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to do that, you have to write it into your series. You have to write that now he's been cured of his childhood trauma and he's good. That's what you have to do. And so now, how would a good guy be evil and fight against Daredevil? Like, this is the storyline that you wrote for yourself, so fix it. But they're like, no, we'll just ignore it. But pretend that we're attached to it.
Hey, a lot of people do that, and it works for them. Okay, just they ignore their problems, and then they just steal fickle
I am all for procrastinating until problems go away. But if you're in Hollywood getting paid millions of pounds for something, do your pissing work.
Fair. Jason Webster, thank you for another Australian 5. Hyperknife 2025 is about Jun Seko, a brilliant sociopath. Jung Seok. Oh, a brilliant sociopath and disgraced neurosurgeon seeking revenge against the mentor who ruined her career.
Oh. Yeah. There's been there's Korean series which don't sound interesting originally, and then someone recommended and you watch them, like, really. There was one before. I'd have to go on my Netflix history to find it, but that was just about a surgeon running a hospital. He comes in to fix a hospital, but it was really like a Korean house, but he was also in the SAS. And it was like, well, their version of the SAS, the Special Forces.
You know, I like how Korea, the men have to do service, like 2 years, even like pop stars. I like the equalization of that in that sense. So I think it builds character. And responsibility.
I think that men have handled every single war since the beginning of time, and so the next one, World War III, I think we can title that The Woman's War.
The Woman's War.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to sit back. Look, I'll make the ammunition, I'll clean the house, they can go and do the military service.
Send Rachel Zegler, she got it.
Yeah, look, to be fair, she would win single-handed. They'll be like, look, I don't want, I'll surrender. I don't want to talk to her.
She will just make Instagram stories threatening people that there will be no peace for them.
There is, I don't know if you've seen the trend of, there are several above attractive women who make military propaganda in order to recruit people to the army. They're essentially normal influencers. I think one is an OF model, but they somehow...
Which country?
There's been a few.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen them.
It started with one, but now I've seen them in multiple countries because I think they learned. They somehow get access to sort of military camo. Then the next thing you see them in a tank. They're in full military garb with helmets and everything, with rocket launchers. So they just suddenly get access to military equipment. That was the first one. Yeah, that was the first one. But other people have learnt. That was the first. In fact, that one originally said, I am, because people were like, don't do this, it's a psyop, it's a psyop. And she actually did a video going, I'm a psyop. And then just in military gear. But since then, they've been using OF models and stuff for other countries.
I mean, if it works, it works. It's like really good marketing, I guess.
Harold Kami, thank you for the £2. I just don't want this one to get lost in our chatting. You know, A Girl Is Too Young for You when? This was like 10 minutes ago. What
were we talking
something
about?
that Disparu was saying.
The gash thing?
I think he's doing the setup to a Jimmy Carr joke.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact joke, but I remember he told it. So I know there is one response to that, which is like when you have to make choo-choo noises to get your...
Oh, he stopped it. It's not
I
YouTube
can't.
friendly.
It's not
YouTube friendly.
It's not YouTube friendly.
You can fill in the blanks.
And
Put
we
it
read
this
your
way,
joke in the private chat to Sprue. Yeah, that can't.
Well,
can't go on
obviously, I can't say
YouTube.
that.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, the
Oh,
other,
you didn't
the
like.
other
She
one
just
is,
looked at it.
you know, people like choo 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 choo. Like like
Hot
you can fill in
damn.
the blanks. That was a joke that he did at the end of his, because he has like a Jimmy Carter's cancelled joke section, and at once he did a tier thing. It's like, this will definitely get me cancelled. That was the worst one I've ever heard him tell.
Damn.
I know I've only ever heard him say it once. I've heard him repeat other jokes from that. I've never heard him repeat that.
Yeah, I don't think you should.
I'm never gonna say that.
Well, no. I meant he. He.
I can't find my history on Netflix.
Sorry, I know it's weird.
It's so well hidden.
Yeah, it should be right there, but instead they put a bunch of stuff in your face that you don't want to watch.
Oh, and I hate that sometimes when you go on Netflix, what should be at the top is like
the trauma
continue
code.
watching. I'm sorry, I don't want to know all your new releases or top 10 or whatever. It should always be continue watching. So silly.
Yeah. And if I cancelled out of your show when the credits rolled, no, I don't want to continue watching. I've obviously finished the show. I don't care who made a TV show. If I know who made a TV show, it's because you're an arsehole. That's the only time I know who you are. Nobody should understand who anyone in Hollywood is unless you're an actor on the screen. Scriptwriters shouldn't be known, directors shouldn't be known. If you are, you're terrible at your job. People only know you because they despise you, you scum.
Oh, there you go. Construction equipment. That's what I was thinking. To answer the question there.
Also, I have never seen a series drop off in quality as fast as Resident Alien.
I don't know that one.
That was an incredible comedy. It was absolutely amazing. And then it gets towards the end of season 1, you're like, hang on, what's happening here? Have you changed the writers? Then gets into season 2, drops off a cliff instantaneously.
AC Shadows needs to continue watching for the credits. Oh yeah, I seen.
Oh my god, the credits are so
Craig
long.
Posted it says like 2 hours or something like that.
No wonder it took so long to finish.
Yeah. Jason Webster, thank you for another 5. Charming, cute, intelligent, cooks, crochets, loves movies, great at arts and crafts, and as a YouTube channel host, Extra Girl is a perfect woman. Aww.
Thank you. You're so sweet, Jason.
So what do you guys have going on? Do you have speaking of arts and crafts, do you have your crafts in the morning tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. Max is partnered again with the YouTube program, so he will be back as well. So it's awesome to hear. So I know he's
Why
been
did he
having
get
trouble with
demonetized? Like, of all the people
for
to get
reused
like, he would have been
content.
the last.
So he reapplied and he was denied, and then he deleted all his shorts. And when he could reapply again, which was now, then he,
that was a common false positive. People were clipping their own videos, and it came across as reused, even though you're reusing your own stuff. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's
anyways,
very stupid.
So that
lots of people got hit with that back in the day.
Nice for him. And then of course Rebo, I think, for Sunday Funday, and then Nerdrotic Live in the evening. And I probably will be back sometime next week for more AC Shadows, and then I might try and play like Black Flag just to get a good idea of the 2 different games. I think 3 hours is not enough of AC Shadows to get a fuller understanding of the game, because I just unlocked the missions map. So just trying to give it its fair due. And then we'll see.
That's the same for any of the Assassin's Creed games. That you unlock more skills and abilities, even to the point where your parkour ability gets better as you go through the game. You can do double jumps and stuff, so everything flows better. As you get into it. They're not really one-session games.
No, and I appreciate at least that aspect of it, but like I said, I don't know the game, so I feel like I'm not getting a very good, well-rounded idea of this IP. So we'll see. Anyways, yes, that's what I'll be up to.
And what do you have coming up this brew?
I have a Snow White review. Then I'm going to be looking. I don't know whether I'm get to a video or not, but I am interested in the studio. See what it says about Hollywood, especially as Seth Rogen has never been funny in his life, and yet he's still doing a comedy. That'll be interesting. Just for the cringe value alone, I think it'd be interesting. But what I'm really looking forward to is I think it's 2 weeks. You have 1, 2, could be 3 weeks. Doctor Who coming back.
Oh, I'm pretty sure excited
Yeah.
for that.
Oh, you're so excited.
It's on the 12th. Is the first episode. So
I
am looking
wonder
forward to that.
what is that reviewers that like, is this the gayest Star Wars ever? Is this the gayest Doctor Who
I
ever?
think
Like
this
that would
might
be
be.
funny.
Well, the last Doctor Who series was, and I think this one will beat it. Because before, Russell T Davies was writing most of the episodes, and now I think Russell T Davies has hired 4 writers who he knows are worse than him.
Oh,
That's what it seems like. Because these people are obviously awful. They're obviously ideological. They're obviously extremist. They're obviously radicals. And so it just seems like, well, I got really bad viewing ratings for that. I'm going to make people worse.
I guess we'll see.
I'm looking forward to it.
Ew, watching Seth Rogen, maybe I do want Scottish independence.
Well, it does mean you have to pay for yourself. You wouldn't be having any of that English money anymore. That'd be the problem with Scotland.
I have my Sunday night stream tomorrow around 8 p.m. Not sure what game we're playing yet, but something. So
Playing Repo, it's fun.
I was thinking about checking that out. Maybe I will. I think that might be
It's
a fun
mixed
one.
with a little scary because you do like to have the scares on Sundays, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, usually, but sometimes we'll switch it up and do like Sea of Thieves or something. But for the most part, we do like to keep it like scary. So maybe I will check out Repo. And then during the week, gaming streams, and I'll be around. You guys know where to find me here. But thank you guys so much. This was the stream kind of flew by, and normally it does, but this one went even faster. Probably because
I only realized the time when you went. So what have you got? I'm like, wait, what?
I know. I know because I can see it in the corner for me. But yeah, we got them all. We got Snow White and Daredevil and Assassin's Creed.
Oh wow, 3 topics.
Wow,
3 topics. That's a record. Yeah,
that is a record.
And we actually got to talk in depth about them too. But
we usually do.
Yeah, well, usually one gets like we talk for a long time about one, and then we're like, we gotta take one of them out of the title because we didn't get to it.
I think that's a you problem. I just talk about whatever's on the screen at the time.
It's true. But guys, thank you. You're awesome. I'm gonna actually send you guys over to Vara tonight. She's playing. If you want to see the Assassin's Creed Shadows, so get a front row seat of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure she's tearing it to shreds. But you guys are awesome, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I watched 9 episodes.
9 episodes.
What?